our face never dies. In this ever-changing world, so since we lay, stand with me, let's try transforming eyes. Stand with me, we'll try this for better.
Do I ever feel afraid? No. All of this is merely a trial of flames. Just like it was back then, when my parents did all they could to save me.
It's a miracle. It's a miracle. It's a miracle.
A miracle? Yes, the temperature lies in those seemingly cruel flames. That's precisely what it is. A miracle. Extinguish. And reignite. It's a weapon. One that reduces all dirty secrets to ashes. It's a test. An impartial trial that tempers the will. It's the tender embrace that binds us to the past. In this scorching heat, miracles are what I shall seek forevermore.
Welcome back everyone to more IVA action. We have come back from our artificial intelligence era. And we'll be joining you as the caster for the current matchup between EMP and 4AW in the upper bracket. I'm going to be Entity, and joining me will be Invisible John, which is visible.
Yep, my name is not called Invisible Jung, it is called Visible Jung. But yeah, we're actually being back after the BO2 first half. Yeah, apologies for the wait, ladies and gentlemen. The technical issue has been resolved, so thank you for all your patience and welcome back. But we're gonna end the half just now. We saw that Hushun, after getting 4 escaped and losing the round 3 to 6, they managed to return the favor with a 5-0 score. So with that, actually now it's going to put Team 4AW back in a very good position, or rather in a position to tie up things or more, because now look, the score is 8-6 here. So now in theory, it's possible for 4AW to get the win on round 2, and then they can sort things out at round 3.
We could say that Hushun gets the revenge that he also awaited for in the first round. That 5-0 probably feed that urge to revenge for Hushun. And now we're gonna head into the second half of round number 2. We're gonna see the Hunter of EMP, who is going to be Glucose, and facing up against the survivor side of 4AW in the Ever Sleeping Town. Again, a map that doesn't seem to counter any specific hunter or any survivor, so there should be an array of characters that both sides can be picked from here.
Yeah, actually there's a lot of different varieties, a lot of different hunters that can be picked. So yeah, now we're moving on back to Glucose, but we did see that Glucose unfortunately also got free escape in the first round over there. So yeah, I feel like Glucose is also time to step the game up and try and return a 4-man. If no, maybe a 3-man, but we're gonna head straight to it. So we're back at the second round, second half for AW versus EMP, and the Glucose Hunter is going to be on the hunt here, as Lawyer and the Acrobat has been in the global bans.
Yeah, the global ban section. The first 2 picked from the previous round will be global ban, which is going to be the Acrobat and the Lawyer. As Jean mentioned, Glucose gonna have 2 bans in the first phase, and it's going to be Dancer and the Priestess, 2 of the characters that can work pretty well with the obstacle involving around the Ever Sleeping Town, especially in the middle area. We see a lot of big buildings that Priestess can portal through, and the combo with the Fever Dancer boxes.
Yeah, so we are going to, let's see, 4AW Survivor and EMP's Hunter, Wax Artist,
man.
We had the very same reaction.
We had the same sense here. It's interesting that the Survivor side did not ban the opera singer.
Well, actually, the last round they managed to kite the opera singer very well. Maybe they're going to be I'm very confident against your opera singer, so let it out again. I'm not afraid. I just don't want to see something different. So it seems that they did their homework very well and are more than prepared against Glucose here.
Yeah, they have all the knowledge, all the tip and trick to counter Glucose opera singer. So they are not afraid to face that character once again. Again, the first 2 characters that will be picked on the side of Survivor will be banned in the later round, and we are certain to have a 3rd round here. So they will have to consider a lot in terms of the first 2 picks. They might try to go for a Gardener and also another character that can tank well. Actually, Coordinator and 3rd Officer.
Yeah, so 1st Officer and Coordinator here, I think they are more than prepared against this opera singer. Hence, because 1st Officer counters the opera singer well, using the watch go invisible, then opera singer can't actually hit. And for the Coordinator, just 1 flare gun, and the opera singer will have to waste a bit of time. So they're well prepared here. And 4AW definitely wants to get at least a tie here, because as long as they get the tie, then they're back in the lead in terms of points.
4AW is now deprived of that ability to pick Seer. With Glucose banning that very strong character in all throughout the tournament meta. But we gotta see, oh my god, Lucky Guy. Well, I'm thinking this Lucky Guy gonna be in the hand of Mungsing.
Yeah, probably.
Definitely, yeah.
And I also see a potential here. Imagine Lucky Guy pull a flare gun, then Coordinator Lucky Guy will be boom, boom, 2 flare guns in the face of a hunter. Bang, bang.
Place the flare gun in hand of Potato, so Potato is gonna have 2 flare guns, banning Puppeteer. So there's an incentive to go for the opera singer after that ban. And the survivor gonna pick a very safe character in this meta, the psychologist on the side of 4AW survivor. From what I remember, the flare gun gonna have a longer effect when in terms of stunning the hunter when it's on the hand of coordinator.
Yep,
if I recall correctly.
Yeah, you're right about that though. But normally it'll be very hard for the lucky guy to transfer that flare gun to the coordinator. So I think it's really just for 2 stuns. And in case like Glucose wants to bring like a hunter that counters the the excitement to counter the coordinator, then the lucky guy's flare gun can also be used as a backup to ensure a stun and maybe to give the open room that they need for like a rebound kite situation.
Exactly. And it's interesting to see that Nikke MX, he plays a lot of veteran character. Lucky guy, Seep, Doctor. We just see in the previous match that he went for the lawyer. And yeah, no surprise there. Glucose gonna come back with the opera singer, hopefully gonna take his revenge as Persian has done in the previous match.
Yeah, he's definitely hungry for that revenge. After that, he got free escape in the first round, so he definitely wants to like step his game up here and potentially to land a 3 to 4 man elimination. Because here's the thing though, is that a tie to 4 escape does not really make the difference for the opera singer here. It only matters is like if it's a 4 man elimination, then Team EMP still has to win in round 1. If it's a 3 man elimination, then it's all tied up in terms of points. But if it's like a tie or below, then then Team 4AW will be back in the points lead.
Interesting spawn position here for 4AW. They created a great wall right across the ever seeming town, preventing the hunter from being able to spawn to lock basically the hunter had to pick between 2, either spawn near the survivor in the graveyard or spawn far away from that survivor and locking that cipher. So yeah, Glucose went for the cipher locker strategy and gonna be preventing the survivor from decoding the cipher in the graveyard area.
Yeah, so we're actually going to be like heading into the game soon. And again, a reminder, like Glucose will want a 3 to 4K because tie and 4 escape have no difference. As just now, Hushin just landing that 4 man there was just very great. So yep, I'm your caster Invisible June, and joined by me is NTT, and we're going to be seeing you with the IVA action of BO2 second half.
Alright, heading into the match, opera singer in the hand of Glucose gonna head on to right the middle. Actually, no, gonna make a leeway back to the fake it area. No, he's actually he's really picky about his choice. Yeah, gonna be at the fake it. 3-6-12 is going to be the build of Glucose, and just Psychologist, the next best character to chase in this lineup.
Yep, it's Senya, the one who kited him decently the first round, but now getting a very early hit though, so this seems like a different situation, as now the Psychologist will be looping around this 1 pallet and 2 window areas, but Glucose is going to break that pallet, and as soon as the pallet is breaking, there's not too much for Senya to work with here, so Senya can really only like rotate around these 2 pallet areas, trying to like gain something from it, and but Glucose is able to hit through it though. Glucose is definitely not giving the survivors any breathing room in this game at all.
Exactly. Now Senya just dropping down pallets. There's nothing to worry about as Glucose is not bringing Blink right here. He is actually going for the excitement in order to prevent the flare gun from being able to stun her. Able to get the vault, but wasn't have the time to run to the next pallet area. Glucose catch up very quickly in order to bring down Senya. This is a way shorter kite in terms of Senya ability.
Yeah, because like I actually mentioned in the first round that Psychologist is not good of a kite against the opera singer, and now we're gonna see exactly why with the Psychologist being down here, Glucose just patrolling around trying to find Potato sneaking for backdoor rescue is able to because Glucose extended a bit too far. So right now, yes, Psychologist will be doubled down, but the first officer able to get off scot-free, which is like a sort of a bit of a blunder on Glucose's end. because now the first officer can potentially come in for the second rescue too, since he's still healthy.
Exactly. Senya just gonna die in the corner. Try to prolong the time that survivor can decode the cipher. We do see that Nikkei is actually looking in the chest to find more objects for the rescue. It seems like on Lucky Guy's head there's going to be a mechanic door and also a wand, a magician wand. Gun right off the bat. Excitement is utilized, but Coordinator still able to negate from that first hit. There's still another gun from Coordinator!
Exactly what we talked about before the game, of dual flare gun situations come into play. So one flare gun excitement, another one. So the question now is that if Glucose can down the psychologist Senya, because the Lucky Guy is actually here preparing to block, but I'm not too certain if this is the best idea considering that Senya is a psychologist with no items to kite. In theory, it'll be very hard for her to last long against a psychologist, and by doing so, everyone is in half health now.
They do have the info that Glucose is not bringing Blink after that excitement, so Senya can just try to drop every pallet on site, just preventing Glucose's ability from dashing and looping around this area. And Glucose just constantly breaking the pallet. Nikkei gonna try to body block for Senya.
Oh,
again,
let's see, can it go?
Coming into another pallet area, but the pallet is already utilized, and Glucose was able to bring down Senya just in time. Nikkei gonna run far away from this location, and this is going to be the first point for the side of EMP.
Yeah, but then again, Glucose is aiming for at least a 3-man elimination over here, so don't forget. But actually now he is in position though, because in position though, like if he can like get the hit on the first officer there, but first officer using the watch and the other cipher, like the 1 and the 2 story is the last one, and actually that is going to be a potential danger because at endgame, this cipher at the center is very hard to decode because like it's very easy for the hunter to camp at. Though Glucose seems to be dancing around currently, not being able to commit himself to target, but he should soon if he wants that 3 or 4 men.
Exactly. Glucose coming back to Nikkei, who is now holding on a flashlight and also a syringe. Will be able to take the hit instead of getting a tram hit. But excitement on hand. Nikkei overextended with that flashlight stun, and Glucose gonna be able to bring down Nikkei here, the next target on the chair, but they already pushed the objective. The Cypher will be primed, and Third Officer already make his way into Nikkei's chair for the rescue.
Yeah, here's the thing. I actually think Nikkei or Edmex did that on purpose to force Glucose into using the trump card there. So now Glucose at endgame does not have teleport to work with, making it very easy for them to get a tie. So this is actually like a bait of excitement, which Glucose used it because now he has no trait to work with.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Now Nikkei is a very tough nut to crack. Glucose is not chasing him at all. The flashlight is proved to be too much of a hassle. Glucose now coming back to the gate. The coordinator who has been opening the gate is running far away. Potato right in front. Yui-chan, caught by Glucose. There's still a wand to be utilized, but yeah, wasn't able to vault the pallet on time. Glucose hungry for more, coming back to the gate, but the gate is already open, and Potato running out freely. No problem there. Glucose isn't able to take more than 2 points here, and it will be a tie situation, a 2-2, which equates to a 7-2 for the side of 4AW.
Yeah, and a 7-2 for 4AW is perfectly acceptable for them because, like in the first round, EMP got the lead by like a 6-3 score, and 4AW managing a 7-2 score. So this means that even though the round victories are 1-1 on both teams, but the thing is that for 4AW, they now have the point advantage. So should the last round be a tie, then 4AW is going to be the team that comes into victory. So EMP is the one falling behind currently.
Exactly. There's now a 2-point gap between the side of 4AW and EMP. That 4-man elimination coming from her should help a lot with the points for AW, and they are now coming back, crawling back from a first round defeat. They are now taking the second round, and we're gonna head on to the third round with the advantage on the side of 4AW. Exactly.
Yeah, and while we're at it, I really want to talk about the dual flare gun strategy because,
Yeah.
like, first of all, the cycle just gone down definitely fast. Like, Glucose was definitely in position for a 3-4 man elimination if wanted. But the issue of that is that the 2 flare guns, like, as I mentioned, the reason why they chose Lucky Guy was to have 2 flare guns. Even if you excitement one, the other one will still get to you and
exactly
gave them a rebound kite here.
The rebound kite. And that helped a lot with the Cypher decoding progress. They did the objective exactly. Say 98 seconds coming from Psychologist. Not that long of a kiting time, but the support coming from the Survivor is enough for them to hold themselves in order to get a tie. 10 strike for Opera Singer, and I keep you not. I think Glucose did not expect that 2 flare gun strategy coming from the Survivor side for AEW.
I say he saw it coming, but one excitement does not work against 2 flare guns.
Against that.
So honestly, really, just a huge applaud to like the for AEW, the strategy for AEW being able to pull it off and like just giving them a rebound kite. So
and that's just the nature of the competitive scene. Both sides are just trying to one up each other. They are just trying to, my game upon my game upon my game.
Yeah,
it's like and just sadly that the Survivor are the winning side in that strategy.
Yes, it's like a tower situation. Like I'm in this level, but you're in this level, and then I'm in this level, and you're in this level, and it's in the end, it's really just like a tower, and see which one is the one that like as you mentioned out levels the other.
Yeah, just out level the other. It's like usually in the endgame situation, they're gonna try to anti-Prime, but then they're gonna anti the Prime by not getting the Survivor. After that exciting game between the Hunter of EMP and the Survivor of 4AW, we're gonna head into a short break to prepare for the 3rd round. So don't go anywhere. More IVA when we come back.
Yep.
If life had more opportunities, would you still make the same choices? My beloved Mary, you would become the most dazzling gem of Europa.
Mother, are we having raspberry cake for afternoon tea?
je me vois danser, je m'enivre. Mon cœur nostalgique pleure sous le poids de mes diamants. Par des désirs, je m'écarte. Mais la flamme du passé est toujours enlacée dans les plis de ma robe portée. Car j'étais un rêve infini qui défiait les désirs.
Hello and welcome back for more IVA action. We are now in the middle of the heat between between EMP and 4AW arm entity, and joining me will be Kuroshiro.
Okay, we are back. Round 1 and round 2 were pretty back and forward there. We did get 4AW, EMP winning for round 1 with a lead of, if I'm not wrong, 8-1. But for round 2 there, seems like EMP fought back really well with the points of 7-2. It was a 5-man elimination and then a tie game.
Oh, actually, the first round is 6-3. Yeah,
6-3.
So yeah, 4AW is the one in the lead here with a 2-point deficit. So yeah, if the last round is a tie, 4AW gonna take the win with their 2-point distance.
Yeah, so I guess all pressure's on EMP right now. We are going to have to see how we can try either get a 4-man escape or a 4-man elimination from the survivor nor the hunter side. But, going through all the pan picks at all, we did see the double gun from, the Lucky Guy and the coordinator last game. We did see Lucky Guy forcing out that excitement around the late game too, just so Opera doesn't have that trait switch for later on. But we are going to be able to move on towards the ban picks here for our third round first half with 4AW versus EMP.
Yeah, I'm eager to see what the map being picked here. We do see the global band is going to be lawyer, coordinator, acrobat, and the third officer. Very limited. Actually, the survivor that are being global band, they aren't going to affect the lineup for the side of 4AW since they are they have a very wide range of survivor to be picked from. The Red Church is going to be the map that is picked here. And we're going to see 2 ban on the survivor and also 2 ban on to the hunter in the third round.
Yeah, but even for round 3 here on Red Church, we decided about female dancer and antiquarian first. From both teams' side right now, they could potentially choose out the priestess. Priestess coming out from this map probably would be for the best, especially in Church, when you're able to pull down the palace and immediately put a lawn portal just so you can assist the survivor from rotation, whether it's rotation or whether it's just assists overall.
Exactly. And we do see the 2 ban on the survivor side is going to be Dancer and Antiquarian. And also that ban from the survivor is Opera and Ivy. Both are very strong meta hunter. They do not want Glucose to pick those characters. And also Glucose is a wax artist main. But I believe the survivor side see that this map is not a good map for wax artists. So they are trying to, bait the Glucose into picking wax on a deal head on with that decision coming from Glucose.
But I mean, like, wax artists here is just a little bit too hard. There's just way too many walls, way too many tight kite scenarios, and way too many corners to cut here as well. If 4AW wants to win this one, I mean, it plays for both teams. It seems like we're going to get Seer and Prospector out first, just with the harass. I guess from 4AW survivors, I decided to get the harasser out first simply because of the fact that, EMP's Hunter did ban the female dancer and the antiquarian with the assists and the harass. And of course, the next ban will be the chief here.
Yeah, a direct ban onto Nikkei. Nikkei is a known hunter who play a lot of veteran character. So we do see that lawyer, that lucky guy, that a doctor, and also Thief are all characters that Nikkei can hold here. But they're gonna go with a strong rescuer first, which is going to be the mercenary. A ban on to gardener.
It seems like we're targeting a single player here with the bans in mind. Yeah, but like, even with the gardener situation banned here, I'd say more or less it's just that we're worried, also a little bit worried about, chair harass. We do have a prospector nearby, but of course with the lucky guy last pick here, once again, Cypher machines are going to be pretty slow early game, but since you do have a series, you can most likely pro-Lonish. Alongside with the fact that, NTT did tell us as well, Glucose and Waxstar this main, we're probably going to have to pick something out a little bit more different unless we want to fully run Wax Artist. Then the survivors on this map will probably all just go knee-jerk reflex for that palette and window speed boost, just so you can't get that wax on as comfortably as you would like.
I think the next best character for Sire Glucose would be Gamekeeper. Nikkei, again, we do see that the survivor side are very harassed and gonna cost a lot on the decoding progress. So the pick onto this lucky guy gonna be able to bring out the mechanic door in order to fill in that gap in terms of decoding. And also Nikkei, with that lucky guy, can also be the harasser, the supporter for the team. So let's see what Glucose is having in mind. I still think that Bane is a good character to go up against.
Yeah, Bane definitely wouldn't be the worst, but it really just depends on Glucose's proficiency on towards that Bane as well. Some hunters would like to run Night Watch here as well, but you know, with the Prospector, with the Seer, Night Watch will still just be a tad bit hard. If Glucose has a Cleric, it definitely would work here as well, especially if you don't decide to chase after Seer first and to chase after any other survivor. Blink, Warp, Wish, Cleric, it can work somehow, but at least you know that if a lucky guy is not going to be decoding, he will be looking for items instead. But with the Bonbon choice out here though,
yeah, I mean, this is a very small map, so Glucose will be able to down a person quite quickly and still able to camp out some of the Cypher with his bomb. The survivor side, with this lineup, I think Bonbon is a great character to go up against. Can counter the CL, can chip away some damage on the survivor team, and I think the only thing to worry about is Nikkei, lucky guy, ability to you know, get that flare gun and go in for the harass.
Yeah, I mean, Glucose banned Teeth as well. So if Lucky Guy wants, he can actually get a flashlight for himself too. But on towards the area selection mode we go. We're going to be able to see Seer here spawning in Shack Prospector in the middle, and of course Lucky Guy at Red Carpet. Potato is going to be spawning on towards the left-hand side, and we're going to be We're going to be able to see Glucose here spawning at where the top right corner Cypher Machine usually spawns.
Spawning at Breakable, so the Cypher inside the graveyard will be locked away. Xenia seems to be the perfect target for Glucose. Nothing to worry about the owl. The bomb can just chip the owl away. Let's see how the chase gonna win out. Or either the Bonbon might go in for the Prospector to prevent some of the later harassment.
If Bonbon actually decide to bring Warp here, it wouldn't actually be that bad to chase after a Prospector, especially with the fact that he can stun in between windows, he can long distance bolt, and he can push back. But of course, with this Prospector in mind, if Prospector actually decide to bring knee-jerk reflex, it could probably benefit him on the long run with the first containment. But when it comes to harass, Prospector's got to be a little bit more careful. We also do see here that Lucky Guy spawning at Red Carpet. There's going to be a chest directly that spawns directly next to him. If there's no Cypher Machines here, he can immediately rotate to Graveyard to look for a mechanic stall, as you said as well, just to deploy the doll down and to start decoding and rotating towards somewhere else.
I think that area is just perfect for Lucky Guy. The most efficient way to get 3 chests immediately. 1 in the Red Carpet and then 2 in the Graveyard, 1 outer and 1 inter. So Lucky Guy gonna have a field day with the with the chest opening sequence. And considering that there is a chest right away in the Red Carpet area, it's going to be a simple 2 object for Lucky Guy right away. And we're gonna head into the match here. Glucose coming in and try to chase out Sia, I believe.
Yeah, it seems like for Glucose here, we brought Insolence Detention alongside with Berserker, alongside with Addiction just to counter the harass, and there was also Berserker or Rage being brought along, but it's here becoming the first chase here. Not that the best area, but it seems like we did win a little bit of a red light mind game here.
Ooh, missed the bomb chip in the first round, but the second round of bomb able to chip away 1 health of Xenia. Xenia gotta try to kite around this pallet area, but Glucose just bombing away, but wasn't able to get the hit onto time. The bomb is now in cooldown, and Seer already dropped down that already used the owl to prevent normal hit.
Yeah, it's just a bit unfortunate that chain bomb didn't chain, or Seer definitely would have gotten chipped towards half health right there. We do see that the Bonbon here did decide to bring Blink here instead. That's going to be no chip on towards the Seer, but that's a beautiful pallet mind game done. That's going to be Blink open and another pallet speed boost away straight towards Church.
Yes, Xenia gonna try to run into Church. There's still missed the Wi-Fi bomb. Unlucky. Xenia gonna have that Nietzsche's effect and broken window, able to get through the window and then create another distance between him and Glucose.
Yeah, but we also do see that Lucky Guy does have a needle though, so if Lucky Guy can't finish his Cypher just on time, he did finish it just on time. Is Lucky Guy gonna come in towards middle just to give a little bit of a flashlight support? We do see the Prospector nearby, but even with Prospector nearby here, that's gonna be very nice dodge push. We cancel the normal hit.
Oh yeah, unlucky. The lucky guy actually do come in for the harassment, but just a bit too late to prevent Glucose's ability from dropping those bombs. A remote bomb chipping away some of DK's health. But oh my god! And a stun from lucky guy? No. Oh, the CS was still able to be brought down from that stun. Again, that build from Glucose able to prevent most of the stunning harassment from the survivor team.
But of course, that was a very nice flywheel there done by the lucky guy. We assume that lucky guy definitely has a gun, which is why Glucose is playing so safe right now. But with 2 minutes and 70 seconds into towards the game, yes, it seems like Survivors lost quite a bit, but the Cypher Machines is just more than enough for a guaranteed tie here, at least for Glucose.
So unlucky that the chair that Glucose decided to chair the Survivor is in the vicinity of Prospector decoding. So yeah, an immediate rescue, and Sia gonna try to make his way as far away from the decoded cipher as possible in order to brought some time for the Survivor team to push for the objective.
But it seems like their Cypher Machine is just a little bit slow here, though, because we do see Lucky Guy rotating around, trying to find for chests. Lucky Guy also having an extra gun there. But yes, in this case scenario, we're going to be able to see Prospector and Mercenary rush you one Cypher Machine. We most likely want the Prospector to come into harass right after Mercenary rescue, since we really don't have any more tie turners here to use.
They do know that Glucose is having that insulin on hand, so they might not worry about the trump card at all in this endgame. Nikkei is coming in for the rescue. There's still a flashlight, and there is a flare gun on the hand of the lucky guy. Glucose has to be very careful. He's just hiding away from the lucky guy's side, just hiding away from obstacle.
Oh, we missed!
Able to get the flare miss.
Oh, we didn't hit the chair. Oh, wait, we hit the chair, but we didn't get the rescue, sadly, from Lucky Guy. We do see Prospector nearby as well, though, but there's going to be a blink. Can we get the blink over? We got the bomb out instead. Still trying to create as much distance as possible between Lucky Guy and the bomb here, but it seems like we aren't able to lock anything up just with Prospector being nearby. Prospector having to be careful, because if you push back cancel attack animation, it's going to be game over for the team right now. Are you okay? He really bolted over that one. That could have been a terror shock, but the Cypher Machine's primed.
Exactly. Prospector is just trying to buy time for Lucky Guy. Do remember that they do not have borrowed time, so they have to prime the cipher immediately, and Nikkei is just trying to buy some time. They are pushing for the tie. A tie is perfect to go up perfect of a result to go up against a bonbon, and yeah, Glucose has to force a blink out with that constant flashlight. Just keep on harassing Glucose. Glucose having a very tough time just bringing down any survivor in this lineup.
Definitely. I mean, like, from the rescue side, if we actually got that gun out, we definitely could have seen a 4-man endgame. But the only issue there was too many tight corners around for Bombman to actually hide from the gun. So even with Lucky Guy's missed gun right there, it was kind of inevitable unless you actually decide to walk straight towards Bombman's face to tank the chip hits and then do the rescue. But you know, with that in mind as well, since there were a lot of red carpet bombs being placed on the ground, even if you did get even if Bombman did hit you and you did get the gun out, there was still 2 bombs on the ground to chip you down to prevent you from rescuing.
A lot of harassment, but yeah, there's still some counterplay coming from the side of the Hunter Glucose, and with a 2-2, now the objective for the side of EMP Survivor has to be going for the 3-man or 4-man escape in order to get the point advantage and also the round advantages. Coming back to the statistics, you're gonna see 74 seconds of time coming from Sia. Most of the time bought from the Survivor, from the Lucky Guy and Prospector harassing Glucose.
Yeah, we're going to be able to see Glucose here with 9 hits and 4 knockdowns. Meanwhile, Prospector 200% decoding progress, 1 rescue, 56-second containment. Meanwhile, the Lucky Guy here with 117 decoding progress, 93-second containment, mainly the harasser here of the team. Xenia, who's on the stairs, is going to be able to see that 74-second containment, and alongside with Mercenary here, 200% decoding progress, 1 rescue, and another 10-second containment. Overall for this game, Lucky Guy definitely contributed the most. We also did see the Prospector nearby as well, but sadly the harass didn't really come true simply because of the fact that addiction countered most of our stun durations throughout the whole mid-Kai harass.
And also not to mention that desperate fight after the first and the second stun will be greatly reduced, and that is due to the most extent coming from Glucose. Just keep stunning and Glucose will be more than happy to chip down away some of the health from Lucky Guy and also Prospector. And
we
do
also did
the
see as.
Go ahead.
Oh no, I was about to say we also did see as well, mid to end game, the Cypher machines were just missing quite a little bit. Right, it was close. It was very, very, very close. But sadly, because of the fact that we were roaming around as Lucky Guy trying to find for items for us to use, that's kind of where the Cypher machine fell off just a little bit slow. Or else we definitely would have gotten the Cypher machine prime before the Lucky Guy would have been able to went into rescue. Even if it was a failed rescue, could have definitely popped.
Yeah, exactly. The time that he spent to look for item in the chest, and also the time was lost when they tried to harass and try to save the seer. That's a lot of time, and that's why the Cypher was kind of missing in the endgame situation there. As you mentioned, even if the rescue managed to be successful, they might not still able to prime the Cypher on time with the Carpet Bomb. 2-2, so the total point would be 12 to 10, I believe. And for AW, the Hunter has to try to get more than a tie here to prevent EMP from gaining that victorious state.
I mean, if I'm not wrong, I'm quite sure it's for AW who's ahead of EMP. Yeah. So so then I guess it's all all hands on EMP survivors. If we get a tie here, it's gonna be a win for 4AW. Exactly. So we're gonna have to bring out the big guns here, trying to look for that 4-man endgame 3-man escapes. Judging by the global bans as well, if we still have that Seer and that Priestess, definitely could come out. But you are gonna have to ban the Opera and the IV2 on this map.
Yeah, Ivy and Opera. Hershun still have Bane to utilize, and we do see in Power Qualifier he did use full go, not to the best result, but there's still a Hunter that they had to worry about. And the 2 ban onto the Survivor side coming from the Hunter. Again, if the Seer and the Priestess is open for the Survivor, he could totally ban those 2 characters immediately.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, but we are just going to have to see. We did see that the Hunter of this game decided to ban the Antiquarian and the Female Dancer. First, Female Dancer being relatively strong as well, just anywhere around the map being able to provide those slow music box assists for the survivors to contain for as long as we can. But it seems like we are going to be able to move on towards the second half of round 3 of 4AW versus EMP.
Yeah, exactly. We are heading into the match. We're gonna see the first 2 bans. First, the global ban will be Gardener, Lawyer, Wildling, and also Puppeteer. And he gonna bring the ban on to the most annoying 2 character in rank right now, which is the Priestess and also Seer. And they're gonna ban the Meta Hunter, Opera Singer, and also the Shadow.
Yeah, but for Hessian right here, he has so many options. He can choose Soul Weaver, who can guarantee a tie, and to prevent all the balloon harassing from coming right, he can choose Anne if there is no harassers at all, if they want to aim for a 4-man endgame. But of course, there are also the likes of, some type of guarantee tie hunter could be, the likes of, you could sometimes say, okay, maybe Clerk can guarantee us a tie because we can stall the game for so long if there's no harassers as well, or even maybe just Nightwatch. We have seen Nightwatch's capabilities on this map. Yes, there's a lot of walls, but the distance between each pallet is still quite a little bit.
And seems like the Survivor are now trying to counter Bane with that Gravekeeper and also Entomologist pick. Hershun can also go for a mirror matchup, going for that Bonbon and try to get a tie. That's still a viable option. Banning Coordinator and the Survivor gonna go for that Cheerleader. Interesting.
And of course, with the Prospector last one here, they still have Antiquarian. They still do have Antiquarian, but it seems like they're gonna go for the Novelist instead.
Yeah, full-on countering Gamekeeper from the side of Survivor. Actually, this lineup is very prone to being countered by Anne, except for the Gravekeeper, of course, ability to take down. But all the other 3 Survivor can easily be catched up by Disciple.
Yeah, especially with Warp, right? Especially with Warp, once you get a cat on you, the Anne can just warp straight towards you without even jumping, and then you just get a normal hit or just start incap down immediately there too. Which is why from our side too, when we saw the Novelist, that was a bit surprising, but I guess it does make sense as well, not choosing anti-current because of the Anne. But like even with that in mind, if maybe we want to aim for more of a balloon harass, you could potentially say Cowboy, since Cowboy does counter the Anne as well. But you know, I guess there's just too many TIE hunters for AW's Hunter to choose, or even a Hermit. Hessian has a Hermit, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah. He does have a Hermit. And for the side of the Survivor, there is no character that can, heal up. And yeah, that's going to be the Disciple coming from the side of Persia. You do call that Anne is the perfect hunter to go for a tie, and this lineup is absolutely, I would say, kind of weak against Anne.
Yeah, well, not really.
Depend
I'd
on
say
the
I'd say this
situation.
lineup is a little bit strong, right? Because you have the novelist who can immediately use his novel the moment that Anne jumps with the movement speed, because Anne can't catch up, so it's considered as a cat fail. With entomologist, you could potentially speaking just put bees in between one of the corner with tight areas so that Anne can't jump as well. But you know, we have seen in co-op professional leagues, cheerleader here. Cheerleader is pretty good at countering Anne, honestly, but even with that in mind though, I'm more surprised Hessian decided to choose Anne out against this team comp, because even if you do have warp, it's still going to be a little bit hard to actually get a first down fast. But I guess he might actually be more reliant here with Chair Camp.
I would say all of the characters that Hessian had on his artillery, and it's a safest bet against his Survivor team. Again, the Survivor team went for a very strong counter against Spain, so Hessian had to pick a safe hunter to go up against. And yeah, Disciple seems to be the most proficient, and we're gonna see Hessian Disciple in third round, second half between the Survivor side of EMP and the hunter of 4AW. We're gonna be your commentator, Entity, and Kuro. Here we go. Let's see who's going to be the first target of Persian.
We run a bit closely towards middle here. With the persona traits in mind, it's going to be Hunter's Instinct alongside with Palette Breaking, Berserker, Sadist, the new name change from Control Freak, and of course Detention. But it seems like we're going to chase after Cheerleader here first instead. Might be a little bit hard, but sadly we didn't get the cat onto our Cheerleader to cancel her pom-poms.
Just looking the cipher, dropping the camera down in order to activate that Berserker. Actually, I think it's called
Hunter's Instinct?
Yeah, Hunter Instinct, yeah. And Zalkan already used that pom-pom to run to the first pallet. Wasn't able to drop the pallet on time, and will be getting a hit after that pallet drop. Urshan able to jump on quite well, and Zalkan is now at half health.
Yeah, for Zalkan right now, for Hessian right now, it's really just one cat landing another warp away. We did get a little bit of a pom-pom coming out right here, but even if the pom-pom does come out, it does not bite on towards the Cheerleader, sadly. Be able to survive one more of the cats here. But it's just unfortunate that Cheerleader has Titan. If we did have a little bit of a window speed boost or flywheel, maybe it'll be a bit easier here for us to contain. But with the and support here, very nicely done. Can we just get the warp out? We did manage to get the warp out, and a little bit over the top. Could we get a stun? We did get a stun, and that's going to be Cheerleader going down here with no items remaining.
Nice. Nice bringing down the Cheerleader. It's actually interesting to see Cheerleader actually bringing Ty Turner in this matchup. And yeah, Disciple chasing Cheerleader with a Ty Turner is actually the perfect one, since they are now let down of a potential rescuer in this matchup. Skyfall gonna come in for the rescue. That second survivor with the Ty Turner gonna coming in, able to get the hit on to Greykeeper in the burrow down state, and we'll be hitting him again for that health decrease.
Seems like we do have a novelist nearby as well. That's going to be a very nice switch over with the storybook. But even with the storybook switch here, and didn't bring Inksling, so it's going to be a little bit harder here to catch up, but it's still considered a 20-second tie turner. So by the time Anne jumps here, we could... Okay, the cat has dissipated, and that's going to be Pom Pom away. Very nice rebound Kai here from the cheerleader.
Yeah, dropping down the pallet now. Zhao Khan still have his second Pom Pom, still haven't regenerated. Just got down when the second Pom Pom regenerates, so there wasn't enough time for Zhao Khan to boost up and run away from Disciple. Gonna be bringing cheerleader again on the chair with the Cypher decoding progress. I would say close to endgame.
Yeah, we are missing just a little bit against Anne, especially against Sadist persona trait here as well. It is going to be the novelist who's going to come into rescue, but this might actually be considered as failure. So it's going to be a very beautiful chair hit. But sadly, the cat stuns here will be able to prevent the rescue, and it's just a matter of whether we can get the terror shock or not here from Hessian. We got the rescue, but that's going to be a Pom Pom away.
Hessian's gonna try to target Zhao Khan this time round. He cannot afford a hit onto the novelist here, and will be able to brought down cheerleader, capturing that objective of first survivor eliminated. Yeah, Mayron just trying to look for that full storybook coming right in front of Tertian. That's that's quite a statement from Maren. Cheerleader gonna be eliminated, and Hershen trying to prevent the Cypher from being primed, but I'm afraid it's too late.
We did get a stun on GK here though, but GK.
Oh, yeah, able to use the shovel on time. Luckily, wasn't able to get the stun from Hershen. There's still warp available, and Hershen can easily down Skyfall here. Actually, waiting for the cat.
Yeah.
He is saving the warp for a rainy day.
But we did manage to get a hit down here though, very nicely done. There is still a warp here left on towards Anne's hands. We decided to play this a little bit more safe. Is there a basement? There is a basement nearby, but there's also Ento's bees as well, but it doesn't seem like the bees will be able to stop Anne from going straight in towards basement. Skyfall here, that's the Gravekeeper, a little bit unfortunate, but we won't be able to struggle free.
Yeah, they have to go for the rescue, or else they're gonna be dropping down to the lower bracket, and they are trying their best. But yeah, it's the last survivor in the basement. This is looking like mission impossible for the survivor team.
Yeah, maybe if Novelist had a novel, I think Novelists have a full novel here. There's a chance that if Entomologist and Novelist can do the supports, can coordinate properly, we could make Anne switch between the Bs, so then Anne can really go towards a Novelist easily. But even still, it's still a basement rescue at the end of the day, and there's still 40 seconds left on detention.
I think the rescue is viable, but how to get away from the basement is the next question that they had to answer. They seem to be very conservative of this decision. Still, Novelist gonna try to calm down. The bee is coming in, trying to block the way, and Marin got stopped in his track.
Now it's just a matter of waiting for Ento. We believe that Ento was on this side of the map, but there isn't an Entomologist nearby. Still 10 seconds left on towards the clock. Even if you do manage to find Entomologist right there, it will be pretty hard for you to actually stop Ento from rushing out the gate. So with that in mind, it seems like Hessian is going to be able to guarantee a 3-man elimination here for 4AW.
And this is more than enough to certain that 4AW going to move on to the semi-final. I believe Hershin spotted out the Entomologist there, and now gonna try to navigate the cat onto the Entomologist. Nice jump. The cat is pretty big now, able to dodge a cat. Wow, great instant, and there is no more detention. There's still a cat in front of the gate. Nice bee.
But the bees.
Yeah. Nice bee blocking, able to get one man out, but that is not enough for EMP, as 4AW gonna be the one achieving victorious here against the survivor of EMP.
Definitely. I mean, like with that game there in mind as well, yes, the early game containment was great. We did manage to get at least 2 Cypher machines and an extra 80% Cypher machine done. But the real only reason why we couldn't do more was because we could prolong the entomologist not entomologist cheerleaders game just a little bit longer with the containment early game, but it's just entomologist not being able to come in to support, cheerleader not being able to rotate towards middle because there was someone in there to decode. Because if cheerleader was in middle, it would be a little bit easier for entomologist bees to be nearby. But it seems like we're going to be able to give the best deduction here to Hessian's Ivy.
Exactly. The previous game where Herschel got a 4-man escape with the Opera, he bounced back and tried to thrive more with that IV selection, and he was rewarded with a 5 point for them, able to bring 4AW into the lead and just extend the lead in the third round with a 5-3. So yeah, a deserved MVP for Herschel from the side of 4AW.
Definitely. And of course, from 4AW side, we'll be able to see 4AW moving on straight towards semifinals, and we should be able to see EMP moving on towards the lower brackets for us to see the matchup next week. But even with that on mind, we the survivors did pretty well from EMP survivor side with the mid to end game, as we've seen against the Bonbon. The containment from Seer was great. The sidestepster were also great to dodge the chip bombs to prevent a very fast early down, especially with the fact that Bonbon fully counters Seer towards a huge extent, and wish the Seer with that Seer playing being able to contain for 74 seconds. That's just way too much time Bosch for the survivors on that game, but it's just unfortunate that the harass didn't really come true, because if it did, we definitely would have been able to see that 4-man endgame too.
And also mentioning about the game that we had just experienced, we do see that Disciple is a very great character to counter body blocking. Wasn't able to body block coming from the side of Novelist, and Cheerleader does not have any leeway to escape from Disciple grabs, even though she has 116 seconds.
As we do see here on the stats as well, we're going to be able to see Disciple here with 5 pallet hits, 10 strikes, and of course 5 knockdowns. It's going to be Novelist here with 140 decoding progress, 1 rescue, 49-second containment, Cheerleader here with 116-second containment, Entomologist with 194% decoding progress, 15-second containment, and of course Skyfall here with 167 decoding progress alongside with a 45-second containment.
That match was sensational. What a match. They were neck and neck, and they were trying to one-up each other. But in the end, Herschel and also the side of Survivor of 4AW were able to keep their lead in the competition and able to extend it even more with a 3-1 coming from Herschel.
Definitely. We're going to be able to see the points here. For game 1, it was 6-3. For game 2, it was 7-2, and for game 3, it was 5-3. And the total points towards 4AW is going to be 15 in total against an 11 from EMP.
A 4-point deficit and also an 1-round gap, which means that 4AW going to move on to the semi-final. As we said, EMP going to drop down to the lower bracket. This is not the end for EMP. They can still bounce back, and they can still try to attend the final. It's just a longer trip for them when they have to defeat every team in the low bracket in order to move on to the final. And so that will be the end of that match. What a match.
Yeah, definitely. The back and forth for round 1 and round 2, and alongside with game 3, there's no such thing as a tie scenario to go for overtime, so it's either a win or lose situation from both teams as well. Both teams definitely held on pretty well, especially with I was more surprised that Hessian actually decided to choose Anne against that team comp as well, where you do have an entomologist who's considered as a counter, a cheerleader who's considered as a counter, and of course a novelist too. But I guess with the introduction of warp right now for Garty tie hunters like Anne, those type of issues really isn't just an issue anymore. Even if they do pallet window speed boost away far from you, so you can't jump, there's still that warp assist to guarantee the stun and hit.
Yeah, and that just shows how strong warp is in this current meta. It's a mini teleport. It's exactly a mini teleport, and you can come back from that. It's able to close the distance. It's able to bring a lot of the hunter that is usually neglected and usually considered a tie hunter, as you said, to be in a more favorable situation in the early game, or even try to go for a winning situation with that warp. And yeah, Disciple, known to be a tie hunter, is able to get a win with that matchup. Again, there's things to consider that the survivor team of EMP has to try to get more than a two-man escape in order to favor them.
Yes, of course. But of course, that's going to be the end for this round. We'll be moving on towards round 3 really soon. And of course, we will see you guys in a bit.
Yes, yeah.
Et je danse.
We gather here today with profound admiration and fond remembrance to honor the lives of those who perished as they returned from Okinos 25 years ago. They were pioneers of science and our dearest friends and family.
March 13th, I accepted my mission. Disguised as a collector, I boarded the exploratory vessel the Isambard. Here, a taxidermist who's obsessed with all marine life.
No pushing. Next!
A cartographer who believes in the visions her father witnessed firsthand at sea. But the strangest one of all is a wealthy sponsor who keeps himself out of the media. The truth behind the tragedy 25 years ago is anything but simple. The culprit is somewhere on this ship, hiding among us.
Our destination is clear, and the route is unchanged. I believe we will all find what we seek on this journey.
Successful collection of samples. Begin extracting and separating the toxins. I can finally restart the experiment. The subjects are in position. Now it's time for the second toxicity test. They seem to have different visions. That leaves us with one last variable.
Hi guys, I'm Lavin.
My name is BK Boy Rule. I am from Malaysia.
Hi, I'm Gummy from South Korea.
My name is Invisible Jung, and I come from Hong Kong.
My name is Nikki, and I'm from Southeast Asia.
Hello visitors, I am Kuroshiro and I will be your IVA caster for this summer.
My hobby is singing and play identity beat.
Hobbies. I like watching movies. I like hanging out with friends, drawing. I like taking pictures. I like eating. I'm a huge esports fan.
One of my hobbies is to do photography.
Probably char kway teow. I mean, can't go wrong with a classic char kway teow. It's just comfort food, you know?
I don't really have a favorite food, you could say. If it tastes good, it's my favorite food. Simple, but I do really like foods with lots of spice.
My favorite food is BBQ pork, which is called char siu in Hong Kong. It is dark red at the outside and light colored inside, and it has a sweet and salty flavor at the same time.
I've been playing Identity for almost 4 years now.
I've been playing Identity V for around 3 years.
I started playing Identity V around COVID, so it's been about 4 to 5 years. And
Okay, welcome back everyone. This is going to be round 3 of day 3 as well. I'm Mikasa Kuroshiro, and alongside with me is going to be NTT.
Hello, and welcome back to IVA 2024 Summer Edition. We just experienced 2 very intense matchup between GH and 2GT, and also the side of EMP and 4AW. And now we're gonna come into the last matchup of today. It's going to be between Future and I believe
IVE.
Yeah, IVE. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, alongside with
in both the teams.
Definitely. With both teams here, both teams have a very strong matchup against each other. We have seen, you know, with FT, their Hunter side, a very strong Opera, a very strong Night Watch as well. More or less of a, you know, very solid Hunter. And of course, from the Survivor side too, they do have, you know, a lot of characters that they can play. They can be very flexible as well. And, you know, with the Hunter counters in mind from the Survivor side, they do know what they want to go with. And of course, with the plans they come out with mid to end game, with the harasses, with the rescues, and alongside with the supports, FT Survivors does that the best. But we also cannot deny it for IVE too. IVE's Hunter, we had seen a clown yesterday's game.
Oh yeah, a clown. It's been a long time since the clown makes it debuted in the meta. I believe it was in IVL Summer 23 where Shoei actually bring out the clown and able to get a 4-man kill. That's when the clown really get that attraction to get onto the meta. But right after the Opera Singer debut, the clown just fade into a villain. So it's interesting to see how their Hunter able to use the clown to the full extent and bring the clown back into the meta.
Definitely. But of course, from FT Survivor side as well, they just have to be a little bit more wary of the clown, because yesterday He Tian's clown did manage to get a 4-man elimination in Chinatown as well. It was quite a dominant win with almost 3 full cipher machines remaining.
Yeah, clown. You cannot expect there's a lot to expect when it comes to a clown match. So yeah, we're gonna see the matchup between IVE and Future in the as our third matchup of the day. We are going to have the lineup in just a bit moment, and we do have the info on their lineup. Okay, so we're gonna come into IVE lineup here with Hershon, Panda, Shirayuki, Run, PPX, and also Izana. This is not the PPX that you and I are thinking about.
Definitely. But it seems like here we're gonna have Rune, who has the main of mechanic, Shirayuki here with entomologist, Panda with prospector. We have seen Panda in IVS multiple times. He Tian here an main, but of course we do know the Opera, a very dominant Opera, a very dominant clown. PPX with the very odd pocket pick of the painter, and of course Izana with the prospector. So we do have 2 prospector mains in our team right now. This team overall, it seems like it's going to be a more or less of a decode support harass comp.
Yeah, exactly. And considering that Hershon is the only hunter in the team, it's required for him to know to utilize, to be experienced in a lot of the meta hunters. So yeah, you did mention that clown. He does also main and maybe some even meta character like Opera or even Ivy. And yeah, we're gonna come into the lineup of Future, which is they do have 2 hunter here, Cinnamon Roll and Soyorin, which is Meow Pie and Kuga. We also have RD as the survivor side, Yash, Mini Blue, and Shadow.
From this team composition, it seems like we do have one support, one rescue, one containment, and one harass. It's quite a bit of a solid enough team comp. It seems like everyone have their own role, with Soldering here being a Dream Witch main, and of course the Cinnamon role having the Opera Singer. Seems like both our hunters are relatively strong hunters, with very meta picks here as well. But even with that in mind, from the Survivor and the Hunter side, FT has been known quite well. We have seen them IVS, we have seen them in KOA, and we definitely have seen them in IVT too. So going against a veteran team right now would be quite a bit of a challenge here for IVE.
Yeah, exactly. They do have the experience coming into this tournament. So yeah, they're gonna head into the first round ban pick, first half of the match between the Survivor side of IVE and also the Hunter of Future. We're gonna see Arm Factory as our map here, and Soyojin gonna come out as the Hunter, which is Kuga. Kuga gonna come out as the Hunter for the side of Future. You're gonna see the first two ban. For this map, there's no need to ban. There's no need to ban a priestess, but yeah, we gotta see that ban onto the female dancer and also coordinator.
It's a bit more surprising here for Soyojin to ban the female dancer, especially when we're playing opera too. Opera is just a bit fast. Yes, you could say the slow music block slows down the opera for quite a bit, but like the moment you break it, you still have the dashes, right? So like it's not like you're wasting that much time with breaking the music boxes anyways. But I guess from Soyojin's point of view, it's more or less just okay. Maybe they're not going to place down the music boxes immediately, and they will place it down around mid game when I'm chasing after someone else. But even so, when that happens, you do have a female dancer who's losing out on a lot of decoding progresses if that's the case.
I mean, it's Arm Factory, so yeah, Soyojin might be, preventing the Survivor from setting up the music block in the Arm Factory area, which is known to be a notorious area that the female dancer can just go for 2 music block or even 3 music block, and it just cover the entire floor of the factory. So yeah, we gotta see the Survivor side going for that Acrobat and Lawyer. Two of the characters that cannot be Terror Shock when vaulting, I think.
Yeah,
that's the strategy they are going here.
I think that might be the only good thing about Lawyer, but like I am just more curious on why they decided not to bring out Gardner, because with the chair locations here, if you die at a corner, there's only one chair nearby for you to actually chair. So like it seems like for IVE's Survivor side, they don't really want to play that harass comp, especially against Opera too, I guess. But Gardner does kind of Opera quite well.
Yeah, we do see that ban onto the cheerleader. We might see the Gardner being the next pick, but it seems like they might go for a rescuer here since... oh no, that's going to be a magician coming from the side of the Survivors. They are trying to counter Opera, just not the line of thought that we are thinking when it comes to the usual team comp.
With the first officer last ban here though, I guess they might be worried about Ivy.
Yeah,
might be.
Mercenary as the last pick. Yeah, it might be Ivy. They still have that magician to counter Ivy when it comes to leeching on the Survivor. Again, this is quite a small map, so placing those gravestone can help a lot with Soyojin ability, with Soyojin mobility in this map. Sorry.
Yeah, but even so, there's just way too many palettes and way too many windows around this map for the Survivors to utilize as well. But I guess the Magician pick really is for Ivy. Magician does kind of counter Opera too, pretty well if you place the wands in her shadow stage, not shadow stage, shadow road. But I guess overall, Magician utilizing the wand just to get the leech off him is not that much of a bad choice here. From Soyojin's ban here as well, we did see cheerleader and first officer's ban. I guess we just don't want Acrobat to contain. We don't want a magician to contain for Lon, because cheerleader is just one of those characters that allows survivors to make mistakes, and she can basically patch you up real fast by refreshing your items and just to not allow your own teammates to go down fast.
Yeah, exactly. Again, the Survivor team, they seems to be heading straight in for I think they can deal well with both Opera and also the Shadow. It's just come to the Soyojin decision here. it might even be another character. Oh, actually, it's going to be Ivy. Ivy as the pick for Soyorin here. So the bet on the magician actually paid out for them, and we do see they have quite a strong character to rescue, which is the mercenary in their artillery.
I still feel like probably for Soyorin here, playing Opera Seer might have just been just that little bit better. It's just maybe my personal opinion, but like on this map, when there are like, you know, so many pallets or windows, even if you do manage to leech on towards a survivor to create that, you know, gravestone area to gather fear, survivors can just rotate 5 seconds towards the next area immediately where there are even more pallets available for them to use. So like with a small, even though it's a small map like this, yes, the map control is going to be great, but how long would it take us to actually get a first down is going to be another question here too.
Yeah, the first chase is going to be quite some time for the survivor, for the hunter. And we do see the survivor on a swan in a flower, in a flower formation. But Soyorin just totally break that by spawning into the area in the corner, blocking that cipher in the factory area from being decoded. 2 survivor in front. Actually, for Ivy does not doesn't fear of you know, survivor spawning far away from you as much as the hunter, because the leech can just leech onto someone and allow Soyorin to teleport right away to that character for the first chase.
Definitely. But you know, like it's as you have said as well, right? Like Ivy isn't really afraid of survivors spawning far away, but also at the same time, the survivors here, Acrobat, Magician, and Mercenary, also isn't afraid of Ivy teleporting to you, because with each of their locations, they do have a window or a pallet to use, or they can just use their item to get out of the gravestone range. But of course, the only one who's actually in danger is going to be the lawyer. If the lawyer actually decides to teleport to, you know, go straight towards factory, even though that cipher machine's locked, maybe we just want to contain there, but we need to make sure that we don't get leaked within factory, because that's the strongest area to contain in for him.
Yeah, they're gonna try to stay far away from the cipher, and we're gonna come into the match between the survivor side of IVE and the hunter of future. Soyorin already used that leech to call out PPX. Actually not leeching because the survivor already ran far away from the cipher. He want that gravestone to be near the cipher location in order to prevent that decoding from happening. But yeah, mercenary able to stay away from the cipher, I believe.
Definitely, but we did see as well the persona pointer. It was instant detention alongside with Max Hunt. Seems like for Soyorin right here, Max Hunt does work on bigger maps, but on small maps like this, it is really just a matter of time. We're going to be able to get that 40% fear stack right on towards Acrobat. But with this leech here, Acro might actually be at a really bad situation for himself right now.
Yeah, Blink is about to be available. Soyorin just trying to get the scare onto Izana. The Blink is still there. 63 scare onto Izana, and maybe blink on and scare later for the second hit.
Definitely, but it seems like we decided to TP in just to catch up immediately as well. For Soyorin, we're playing it very safe. We're still waiting for elevation. We're trying to play as much mind games here as possible, but it's just going to be the matter of time before we actually get the screen. But we did not run towards the right direction there, which is a little bit unfortunate. Acrobat there, that's blinked down. That's a very huge loss for our Ivy.
And looking at the cipher decoding progress, they are really pushing that objective. 5 cipher are now decoded, with 3 of them almost a priming situation. Yeah, Acrobat is still kiting pretty well in this area. There is no ray zone to be leech on, and since there's still a 40-second cooldown, the scare did not connect to the Acrobat, and Acrobat is still pretty safe and sound in this area.
I mean, from Soyorin's side, yes, the idea was good, but it just wasn't executed properly, because if we did manage to get the relevation fear stacks on immediately, then we definitely, ooh, that's gonna be first stack landed, very nice jump, but it's already around 2.5 cipher machines.
2.5, it's already 3 cipher for the side of survivor. Soyorin is having a pretty tough time, but again, Ivy is a very endgame centric hunter. So yeah, there's still room to come back for Soyorin. He still have to camp out the cipher, gonna leech on to Magician to prevent the cipher in the middle from being decoded, and then bring the leech on to run to prevent this cipher. both ciphers are now being prevented of decoding on time. And now the leech onto the mercenary is just gonna try to prevent the rescue from happening. Wasn't able to do so. And Izana gonna hide around in this area, not affecting any other cipher.
But it seems like Acrobat here is gonna be okay. Acrobat will get relevation stacks on, but with Acrobat going down here, I guess it is still a second chair. But looking at the cipher machine decoding progress here, by the time Acrobat actually gets on chair, it will be around 70% on average from the rest of the cipher machines. But I guess it's as you have said as well, right? IVE survivor side right now, like for Ivy, it's an endgame character. But what does that mean for the survivors? It means that we need to get items for endgame, and the one that might actually become the next target, even if we don't get the Acrobat down, could be the lawyer here, who only has maps on his hand.
And the lawyer is pretty far away from the Sojourn area. Sojourn still trying to camp out that middle cipher at 67%. He might be able to prevent the cipher from being popped after this rescue. Magician coming in for the rescue. 56, 59, 70. Able to rescue with this Ty Turner. And the cipher in the middle is now being decoded. Sojourn will have to choose between camping the cipher or going for Izana. But seems like the choice is already over. They're gonna be able to pop the cipher on time, and Acrobat will be popped back up after he got down. Yeah, there's the pop, and they're gonna push for the gate.
Yeah, the only thing that Acrobat has to do here really is just to create as much distance as possible from Ivy's main body. But it seems like for Ivy here as well, we want to leech on towards another character. There's going to be the Mercenary near the gate, but Mercenary's gate only at 15%. Moongate is already at 70% though. And it seems like right now, your Phantom 4 might not just be able to reach towards Moongate here at all. We do see as well the Acrobat running back towards Moongate, but there's just too many gravestones nearby.
Yeah, and the gate is already open. The other gate is being occupied by the Mercenary, which still have 2 elbow pads to utilize, and is now opening the gate, anticipating Sojourn, baiting Sojourn to go for the teleport.
We are really just waiting right now. The teleportation did go through, but we're still on Yi Tian, which means that our main body is currently not moving. The order X gate at 67%. We do see that all the other survivors are currently trying to heal. With 50 seconds left on detention here, you don't have max presence, you do have a ball. And it seems like this might just be the end. Can we get a blink down here is a really good question. There might be a dungeon nearby, but the other X gate just isn't open yet.
58 corruption point on Izana. There's no more ball left onto the Acrobat, and it will be a down situation. So you're being able to keep that 1 point for them. And Future is not in the lead. It's actually IVE with a 3-1 lead against Future at the first half of round number 1.
Yeah, I think really right in that situation, if we wanted the Acrobat to actually take the dungeon for a 4-man endgame, we should have forced the Mercenary to actually open that gate. It didn't really matter in that situation as well, right? There were like 40 seconds, 30 seconds left with detention, and even if Ivy did teleport over straight towards you, you could just have whoever was nearby Moongate to heal, and then we can go for a 3 survivor body block situation to just get out of that main factory gate. We really wanted that 4-man escape. But from a survivor side here as well, against an IV round 1, 3-man escape is very nicely done. Very nicely done here from IV survivors.
And looking at the stat here, the Shadow from Sojourn only able to get 4 knockdown, 7 strike, and 1 terror shock onto the survivor. As for the survivor side, quite some decoding was made from all of the 4 survivor. 205%, 34%, 156%. And 181% consecutively from Lawyer, Acrobat, Mercenary, and Magician.
And alongside with that, we did see as well Acrobat early game containment 106 seconds.
Wow.
Yeah, Sojourn did have the very good idea of wanting to get the blink and then the immediate relevation from Etienne, but sadly we just weren't able to get it. From the survivor side, all they had to do was to spin their camera as much as possible, just so it would be very hard for Etienne to predict which way you will actually look. But right after that relevation misuse, it seems like like for Acrobat there, we did get quite a bit of, containment as well. I think that was around a good 35 seconds free containment from the Acrobat, which allowed the survivors to get the Cypher machine done relatively fast.
Exactly. And yeah, Ivy. It's funny to think that in order to counter Ivy, all you have to do is just spinning the camera around to prevent the scare from happening. Yeah, that's quite interesting on the side of the survivor. And Ivy, again, a strong control, a strong endgame hunter, but I think face the same fate as Clerk when it's come to chase. Just one mishap and the game is entirely in the survivor hand.
Definitely. But like we also have seen endgame as well, right? Barely anyone was actually at the exit gate. When Merc was at the exit gate, he told his teammates that, okay, you can go open Moon Gate right now. The Phantom is actually near me, which allowed the lawyer at Moon Gate to open the gate immediately. Meanwhile, Mercenary was just trying to buy as much time as possible. Even if Ivy does have a strong endgame, the biggest issue here is if you can't find anyone, or if you found someone, but if it's like a first officer who uses pocket watch immediately and you can't leech on towards him, if it's like a magician, then in that case scenario, where really is your end game? Like the survivor stalled out detention time for so long. There was just around 10 seconds left for detention to be over by the time the Acrobat went down.
Yeah, and we do see that from the side of Sojorin. He desperate to find that Acrobat. He just wants to keep that 1 point to himself. Just need to prevent that four-man escape from happening, and he was able to achieve that in that last instant of the match when he was able to leech onto the Acrobat and down him relatively fast in consideration that the survivor are trying to heal up each other and try to go for the block as you said.
Definitely. But we are going to be able to move on towards the ban pick phase of second half of round 1. It's going to be Hetian coming out from IVE. We're going to go against FT survivors here. Adi, Koi, Mini Blue, and of course Yosh. Honestly, for Hetian here, he can play this relatively safe. He can go play, a guaranteed Tide Hunter, or he might just be able to bring that Opera out.
Yeah, Opera is still a viable option, and that ban onto Puppeteer may actually seal the deal on what Hetian gonna pick in this matchup. Another ban onto the Coordinator. Coordinator is getting all the love from the Hunter today.
Yeah. Well, you know what, right? Warp. You got me, I warp. So even if your teammate runs, I'm next to you. Especially against Opera Singer, it works in a sense. It works. But I guess, with the Puppeteer ban there as well, we just don't want the body block hits. We just want to get someone down as fast as possible from Hetian's side if he actually wants to play that Opera. From Ivy's point of view, you don't necessarily have to ban the Coordinator simply because of the fact that you can just leech and then, immediately teleport towards the target that you want to go to.
And yeah, they are playing relatively safe. Gotta go for the Antiquarian when it's not banned, and also the Magician, which is a counter to the Opera Singer, and also which is a counter to the Shadow, and somewhat counter to Opera Singer if used correctly. So yeah, relatively safe choice from the Survivor side of Future in this first two pick. The third ban from Hetian is going to knock off might go for a Rescuer. That Hetian does not want to go up against. It's actually going to be the Acrobat ban on the side of Hetian.
It seems like for Hetian here, we actually just want to get rid of as much of a containers here as possible. It seems like he's looking for people who can actually create distance and Kai for long here. So maybe next ban, you could be able to see that Psychologist coming out. But for IVE side right now, it's pretty nice for them knowing that Anti-Current will be moving in towards the global bans here for the next 2 rounds as well.
And we do see that answer coming out from the side of Future. Yeah, Sojorin in the previous match did ban that answer right away. So when it's not banned, the Survivor side of Future are gonna utilize that right away. That last ban onto the third officer might go for Ivy once again, as the Survivor gonna go for that Mercenary at the last pick for the Rescuer.
Well, maybe we can maybe Hosha would just play relatively safe with an An, because like if you look at this team comp as well, right? Oh, magician, use one. If the catch lands on the magician, you can still jump and stun. Same thing with the antiquarian, same thing with female dancer. But maybe for female dancer, we just want to look at whether we want to bring warp or not with the An as well. But I guess when it comes to round 1, when Opera Singer is still available, when Ivy is still available, maybe you will choose after someone who can have a higher chance of a format elimination.
Exactly. Especially when your teammates already have a 3-1, you might want to extend that lead further away. So yeah, Hershey, a relatively safe choice, or all in with the Opera Singer. Actually, Ivy is still an all-in character for Hershey right here. He gonna utilize either of the 3 character that is on the line here. As you mentioned, yeah, Ivy again. Huh.
I think we could. Well, I think we probably want to chase after Anti-Current if that's the case. Since Anti kinda does have to look at the hunter to get the stabs, but the only issue there is if you look back, you might just get the relevation sphere stacks on. So that could be a small bit of an issue here. We just have to see how Hurtian plays. We do know, as I saw you in the last game, the Ivy definitely could have gotten around a 60-70 second down, but it's just unfortunate that the karma shakes from IVE Survivor side got the upper hand against that matchup. But overall with Ivy here, seems like we want to prove ourselves as well.
Fighting against the shadow, it's just move on to the experience bar. Are you experienced again? Kiting against an Ivy in this current meta. Since it's all skill based, I believe it's all skill based. The ability to predict whenever the Yithian gonna scare you, predict the area that the Ivy is going to lead you, and yeah, it's all prediction when it comes to playing against Ivy. Shin gonna try to spawn at the moon gate and blocking that. I believe it's going to block the cipher at the fun gate.
Yeah, but with Hutton spawning by Moongate there, it might take him a while there to actually find whoever he wants to chase after. But I guess also at the same time, early game, the survivor rotation is definitely necessary as well. But we're going to be moving on towards the matches. It's going to be FT versus IVE. We're going to be able to see Hutton here with Ivy going against the Magician, Female Dancer, Mercenary, and of course the Antiquarian. I'm the commentator. I'm your commentator, Kudo Show, and with me is NTT.
We already see the Yithian brought out by Hershen, and you're gonna try to leech onto the survivor as the main body is moving into the factory area, which is the area that Josh Pancake is in. The Antiquarian Koi is caught out by the Yithian, gonna leech onto the Epimanesser and actually take back that leech in order to leech another survivor, not teleporting to the female dancer.
We did take back the leash once again, though. It seems like we want to start locking up Cypher Machines and maybe go after Anti-Current. But if we really want to chase after the Anti-Current here, we're probably just going to wait until Anti is a little bit of a very strong containment area before we get the leech, get the gravestone down to block that one containment area.
That's a perfect scare coming from Hershen. Yash moving out 59 scare, so even if the scare managed to hit onto Yash, it's still gonna be 99%. Blink is available, actually moving on to 63%, and a blink to confirm the hit onto Yash. Yash now has to be lenient to the ability to scare from the Yithian. Let's see if Hershen managed to do that.
Oh, we're still waiting. We didn't use our elevation just yet. We're looking around, but it seems like we did manage to get a scream. the Cypher Machine isn't enough. There's around 2.5 Cypher Machine done right now, and it's only 90 seconds in towards the game, alongside with a basement. But we're not sharing there though.
Yeah, not sharing there. I think sharing on top here give the shadow ability to camp all the Cypher easier than in the basement. Since when you take back the leech, you have to go up on the basement there. A successful scare onto midi blue. Maybe another
Mini Blue might
near
get
the
double down
chair.
situation here if we're not careful. We didn't get the scream on just yet, but it's currently in an 80, 1997.
97,
Barely. Could have got a double down situation right there, Bosch. It seems like for Ivy here, we didn't get the relevation scream on towards Merc 2. And the current does have quite a bit of a rebound kite potential, but she could be leecher once again by Ivy.
Yeah, the leech onto Yash. Yash gonna try to move into the factory area. Nice scare coming from Hersian. And the second scare did not connect. Antiquarian gonna be living another day with that 91% scare on to the Antiquarian. I believe that cooldown on the Yithian is already reset. Now let's see if the scare is connected. Not connected. The camera spinning is too good from the side of Yash.
Yo, but we got the scream there though. But judging by the Cypher Machine, good progress here. We got the disarm on. We got the second one on, and it's gonna be a 5 Cypher containment after that 90-second down.
Oh no, and looking at the Cypher, it's going to be pop, I believe, after Antiquarian got down. If Hersian is lucky enough, 69%. The scare actually connected, so able to brought out Yashmi for the Cypher Prime. 82% is the progress of the last Cypher. They're actually pushing 2 Cypher at once.
Yeah, but this is only the second chair here for Antiquarian. Yes, she has no items remaining, so probably from Ivy's side, we just want to get that blink down immediately and then teleport out away towards the other gate. But we do see here as well, Mercenary on towards Moongate, and that's going to be Female Dancer priming the Cypher.
Trying to leash onto the Female Dancer after endgame. The hit onto Yash did not connected. RD still trying to body block. I mean, the Cypher is popped, so they now will go for the end game. The gate already has someone standing at it to open. That is the Moon Gate, and the front gate is also opened by the Magician RD. Hersian trying to prevent the gate opening from happening. Hersian already running away, using the magic wand to prevent the leash on to the Magician. So that's quite the experience coming from Hersian.
Yeah, but Magician with just that one wand or being able to fully de-leech off Yi Tian. Seems like the Mooncake X gate is going to be open, and we're going to be able to see a 3-man escape here coming from the Survivor side.
Yeah, 4-4. So it's a pretty equal matchup, and we are seeing Ivy is not such a great character to go for a tie. All of the previous 2 rounds has been a lose for Ivy.
Yeah, but I guess maybe for this round, we did have basement nearby though when we downed Antiquarian at Shack, but we didn't decide to actually take basement there, which I feel like was more or less of a, missed opportunity in that sense as well. Because even if Mercenary does get, basement in, there's going to be a highly less likely chance of Antiquarian being able to rebound Kaiju, because she is going to have to force herself to use her sweeps and her stabs and her disarms just to allow herself to get out a little bit safely. But even when she uses it, it should be only around 1 to 2 second disarm instead of a 4 to 8 second disarm when there isn't another survivor nearby.
It's a shame that Hersian actually went for the Cypher camping instead of going for that basement, as you said, because that would be I would say if he actually went for the basement, it would be an easier tie for him in this round. But he tried to go for more, and it's too much for him to chew. And yeah, the Survivor side, they hold up pretty well against an Ivy. Consider that their team also had an Ivy main. They probably trained a lot to go up against this new meta hunter.
Definitely. But we're going to move you on straight towards the stats page. Here we go. We're going to be able to see 0 Cypher Machines with main 2 pilots destroy 6 strikes and of course 4 knockdowns. A Magician here with 200% decoding progress, 1 rescue, 70-second containment. Mini Blue here with 139% decoding progress, 1 rescue, 30-second containment. Female Dancer with 162% decoding progress alongside with no containment. And of course Anti-Current here, 107-second contained. This was mainly from rebound kiting in factory.
A long kite from Antiquarian, 107 seconds, and still managed to escape from the gate, escape from the hunter's grab. That's quite that show the skill and show the power of Antiquarian in this current meta. So that's why usually we see Antiquarian banned right off the bat. And I believe the hunter of IVE isn't going to be worried about that Antiquarian anymore, since it's going to be moved in the global ban system from the first round pick. So yeah, 4-4, quite neck and neck in this first round, in this first matchup. And yeah, this is going to be a pretty long game for both of us.
Yeah, but I guess I think something did also happen in the ban pick phase, because we did have a female dancer. We did also have a Anti-Current. Yes, you could potentially say Anti-Current can counter IV, and IV can also counter Anti-Current. It's kind of the same logic here when it comes to Wax Artist. But with female dancer on mine, we saw that when Anti-Current went down, it was only around 2.5 Cypher Machines. But right after that, because of female dancer's fast music box, they were able to get the 5 Cypher Machines done right before the second chair.
And with that, we're gonna head on to a break before we head into the second round of this matchup. We're gonna be back with more IVA action.
Since I've been playing for so long, I thought it might be a fun and new experience to try and become a commentator for tournaments.
I did get an A badge for Undead in Asia server.
For my achievement relating to Identity V, I am a hunter main and I used to main Wu Chang. I have once been an A badge Wu Chang in the NAEU region. I also joined the competitive scene of IDV as I was the coach of an NAEU team named YHB.
I played in several competitions as hunter, and I have my jersey with me here. Casting is one area I've never touched upon.
And also money. I love money, dude. I love money. Golden Retriever Boy by King Mala.
So the song that I'm currently listening to is Mind Over Matter by Young the Giants. Very good song, I recommend it.
My favorite song is a Chinese song called Hao Hao from Mayday. This song has a very nice tone.
Ladies and gentlemen, will you please stand?
Mercenary, because for rescue, Mercenary is the best overall.
I really used to like playing Mechanic. The bot was basically like a 5th survivor on the team. She could decode, block, body block, save, open up gate, beat tinnitus. So whether you were on the chair, you could still decode. If you're not on the chair, you'd be decoding 2 Cypher Machines.
And my favorite character is Sculptor. Simply because of the fact that when I started playing IDV, she was first released, and I have been maining her since then.
My favorite Identity 5 character is Dream Witch, because her skills resonates with me perfectly.
Have fun. Just good luck, have fun,
Hopefully you'll be enjoying the shows and games presented to us by all the players, and hopefully you'll continue to give us all your love and support for the game.
To everyone watching, I hope your love and passion for the game will continue to burn as brightly for many years to come. And with that, we have come to the end of the interview, and I will see you guys at the gates. Bye bye!
Xin chào các bạn. Mình là Xuân Thu, mình là huấn luyện viên của team IVA Story.
สวัสดีครับผมเลตเติ้ลบอยจากทีมฟูลักแฮปฟันนะครับ
Hello， 大家好，我是来自 FT 战队的阿迪选手。
Hi everyone, I'm Northern from Team Leo.
Hello everyone, my name is Kuko from Team EMP.
Hi, I'm Yuki from Team IF.
Hello everyone, I am Evo from 4AW.
Hi everyone ชื่อโยเซนะคะ เป็นกัปตันทีมของ 2TT Together Team ค่ะ
Thực sự mình cảm thấy rất là vui và có một chút không tin khi team mình là team đạt được top 8 của kỳ thi đấu IVA mùa hè năm 2024 lần này.
แฮปปี้ตื่นเต้นครับ แล้วก็รู้สึกสนุกกับ2แมตช์ที่ผ่านมาด้วยครับ
很开心我们战队成功进入了 IVA 8强，我们会在剩下的比赛继续努力的。
It feels great because we can play more matches and we can meet other strong teams and test our skills. Yeah.
And it feels incredible to have made it into the top 8. All the hard work and dedication are paying off, and it is a huge milestone for our team.
Good communication in the tournament. We will try our best to face every team and encourage each other to improve.
Friendship. Because we are a team that prioritizes friendship, so we hope that we can showcase that more in game. Yeah.
Our mindset is to stay focused and take it one game at a time. We are confident in our ability, but understand that every match is a new challenge.
Our mindset in this IVA is to enjoy the game and try our best to pro.
Welcome back everyone. This is going to be the round 2 of our last matchup for day 3. We're going to be able to see FT versus IVE here, and for round 1 it seems like it was a tie game 4-4 for both sides.
They are pretty strong in terms of their survivor. The hunter is having a very tough time against those very pesky survivor. Again, the survivor lineup, they are all experienced hunter. They are all competitive in their respective region, and they are no name in their team. So it's no jokes that it's going to be quite a long matchup that we have to be watching here.
For first half of game 1, we did manage to see a 3-man escape against FT Hunter Ivy, and of course for second half, IVE's Hunter did also bring out that IV2, but in the end, FT Survivor also managed to return a 3-man escape there too. Both games played out just a little bit more differently. For the FT's Hunter, unfortunately, we didn't get the Relevation Scream on time, which allowed Acrobat to contain for 100 seconds, but for the second half, we did manage to get a 90-second in on towards the Antiquarian, but it really is just female dancers, fast music box, which allowed us to cipher rush the ciphers as much as possible in order for us to see a 4-man endgame.
And looking at the actually seeing at the female dancer is such an easily utilized survivor. She can kite, she can decode, she can even support with her slow music box. Anything she can do quite extensively, and even when it comes to rescue against a hunter that doesn't have the ability to deal damage without using the normal hit.
Yeah, but it seems like for round 1 here though, we were talking about how Ivy is pretty dominant, especially within the professional leagues too. But with this game in mind, it seems like we're going to be slowly but surely being able to figure out how to actually counter the Ivy too. But moving on towards the second round of first half, it's going to be FT's Hunter coming out first once again against IVE's Survivors.
Exactly, and we're going to see the map quite soon here. It's going to be the Hunter of the Future, Sojourn, going up against IVE Survivor lineup, Yuki, PPX, Izana, and also Run. Global Band Survivor are going to be Acrobat and Lawyer in this matchup.
Yeah, we're just gonna have to see which map we're gonna decide to go. We decide to go Ever Sleeping Town here, so that Acrobat Global Ban might hurt IVE Survivors here just a little bit. But of course, with the Hunters bans here, we most likely will be looking for somewhere along the lines of maybe banning the coordinator once again alongside with Anti-Current if we want to run Ivy again.
If they might not actually, yeah, coordinator and antiquarian, leaving out that priestess for the survivor team to go for Sojourn is hungry for a revenge with that potential IV pick in this matchup. I think in this map, Ever Sleeping Town is way easier to play IV than in Factory when it comes to transitional kiting. In Ever Sleeping Town, the ability to transition kiting is quite difficult since all the kiting area are all separate from each other instead of connected to each other's like our Factory.
Definitely. But like we also do need to remind ourselves of Soyoring's last game's persona traits. He did decide to run instant detention. Well, no, maybe not. Well, I think I'm quite sure he ran instant detention. But the main highlight there was the Max Hunt. Max Hunt wasn't able to be utilized simply because of the fact that there was too many pallets that has to be broken. But on Ever Sleeping Town, that might just be a little bit of a different story.
Yeah, after the ban onto both the harasser, the coordinator, and also the antiquarian, the survivor team had decided to go with again the magician and also cheerleader to counter a potential IV that we are seeing for the side of Sojourn. The next ban on to psychologist.
Overall, psychologist isn't a bad ban if you want to play Ivy, but I also feel like at the same time, if Solin wants to, he could potentially run the Nightwatch here as well. Nightwatch does counter cheerleader's pom-pom movement speed boost. Nightwatch also does counter the magician. Even after he uses his invisibility from the wand, it still would be pulled back because of Tempest here too. But I guess overall from the bans, from what we're seeing, IV is going to be the most likely case scenario of what will be coming out.
And after that ban onto the psychologist, the survivors team had decided to go with a very strong character in Ever Sleeping Town, the priestess. There's still a rescuer to keep in mind, so he might try to ban the third officer here in order to have the least deficiency when playing the shadow. He's the one another character that can have the ability to go invisible. But no, banning the mercenary, there might be different intention with this ban.
I mean, with the I guess mercenary is one of the guarantee rescuer type of rescuer, but like with the priestess here being chosen after Opera has been banned, there isn't quite a lot of hunters that can actually counter the priestess's stun support. Maybe Waxardus could be one of those exceptions to the rules, or maybe Soul Weaver. But aside from that, it is going to be quite hard here to play Ivy against priestess, but we are also going to be able to see that Gravekeeper coming out here though. Kind of want the guarantee rescue here just so we don't get leashed while we are in shovel form.
My mind is actually heading towards a potential Dream Witch pick from Sojourn with this ban, with this type of ban, yeah. And it seems like the survivor are realizing that Sojourn might not go for the shadow with the ban onto the mercenary, so they go for that Gravekeeper, as you mentioned, the ability to tank that hit. And if the leech of the Dream Witch does hit the Gravekeeper, that leech will be disappear. So this could be a good counter when it comes to rescuing. Not sure of this team con.
It could kind of counter both. It's just that if we play Magician against Dream Witch, Magician would be a little bit of a lower ground here compared to Dream Witch, especially with the leash here, so we can just use the leash to see where Magician is. But yeah, we're gonna run Ivy all the way through. It seems we're gonna be running Ivy all the way through.
It's Ivy Nation.
It's
all Ivy today. Sojourn again with the Ivy, hungry for revenge with the previous game only getting that 1 point from the hand of IVE. Let's see if IVE will be able to recreate that result or even go for more in Ever Sleeping Town.
Definitely. But the one thing that Sorin will have is he can't bring Hunt anymore with the movement speed boost without interacting, but only chasing, simply because of the fact that, Magician, I put a wand in Puna palette, you have to hit my wand. A Priestess, you have to go through my portal, in which that's a stun. That can already counter Hunt pretty well as well. The only way for Hunt to actually work here on the IV, on the shadow, is to chase after the cheerleader, and that might be a bit of a hefty task here, even if it's for an IV.
Yeah, all 4 character is all tough nut to crack for Sojourn. Gonna spawn at the area right next to the geisha dance. Gonna be able to lock the cipher in the fake it area where PP is actually spawned. Yuki right in front of the two-story in the middle. Izana at the geisha dance and run by Liao at the school gate, at the two pallet gate.
Yeah, it's going to be a little bit hard here for Ivy to chase after either Priestess or the Magician, simply because the fact that they actually spawn near two-story areas in which they can camp the stairs to counter your Tombstone area for the fear stacks. But of course, with the Cheerleader on that side as well, maybe Cheerleader would potentially rotate towards the corner house too.
Yeah.
But I guess it really just depends on whether, well, it really just depends on where Izana wants to rotate as well.
And with that, yeah, the survivors team already lined up. They all have spawned in their respective location. Gonna be a tough chase for Sojourn since all four of them are capable of kiting Ivy easily, especially when it comes to Izana and PP. Yuki might be the first chase for Sojourn. Just the fact that she is spawned quite near the shadow, and also her ability to create portal does not affect Sojourn that much.
Yeah, but of course, Sojourn can kind of counter the portal too if we did get the leech on towards the priestess and we just, used our elevation to cancel it. But it seems like right now our persona trait is going to be Instance Detention with Hunt once again, alongside with Quenching Effect Berserker and Nostalgic, it seems.
Still gonna go with Hunt this time around. Sojourn seems to be pretty determined that he could be able to chase the Hunter at a relatively easy area to caught up. But able to get a scare onto the Magician. 97, 100 scare, but wasn't able to vault to the pallet, and now another pallet to utilize. 1 utilization, and Izana escape for the hand of death of this situation. Another one. Oh my god.
That was really low. I honestly, that was pretty lucky though from Magician's side, but he's now no items remaining. If he vaulted over that pallet, he definitely would have gotten a hit there immediately as well. But that's 60 seconds in towards the game, and we already have so much fear stacks. 60 fear stacks here on towards the Magician. But since the Priestess portal support is going to come out too, seems like we want to leech an immediate teleport towards where GK is. We're currently utilizing any free survivors nearby to catch up towards the Magician. So for Priestess right now, if she gets leech here, she needs to make sure she runs far away from the Magician as much as possible.
And that's exactly what she did. I believe that was trying to break the portal, but accidentally went through the portal, and as a result, let's try to get up to another survivor, as it seems to be run by Liao. Will be leech here and prevented from decoding that cipher, but Sojourn Izana actually ran straight to Sojourn after vaulting through that window. So Sojourn will now be able to caught up to Izana.
Yeah, that's going to be the blink down here. Yeah, we've Titanner, so there's nothing we can do, honestly. No window speed boost, no flywheel. It's just a matter of time there before Magician gets found the moment he was spotted as well. With a Cypher Machine decoding progress here, it's around 2 Cypher Machines with 4 Cypher Machines here currently being decoded, but the Gravekeeper here, he is going to be making it towards the graveyard, but it seems like we're going to be more focused on map controlling as much as possible.
Looking a little bit dire for the survivor team when it comes to the decoding progress. The game is now in the Ivy favor. Try to get a hit onto the Gravekeeper. I'm not sure what Sojourn is trying to do here. Maybe try to go for a double down situation and then try to go for the leash and leash onto Izana as a second chase.
Yeah, definitely. That's definitely what Shadow wants to do here. We are going to be able to see around 3 Cypher Machine decoding progress. By the time we share the Gravekeeper, in the graveyard, we most likely will just teleport out instead of map control here, especially with the fact that Magician doesn't really have anything else to use. But if we can actually get the heal on towards the Magician here, Magician currently being healed by the Priestess from the long portal, and it seems like Magician might just be able to make it out pretty safe here. But if we get the leech on towards Magician here too, it's an immediate second chase. Are we going to teleport over? We're not teleporting over, and there's going to be the cheerleader nearby too.
Yeah, after the first chair, she's just not gonna be going for that magician. Trying to bait out the terror shock and the terror shock onto the cheerleader. This looking a lot brighter for Soyorin.
That
Oh
terror
my
shock was
God.
really unfortunate. We got the rescue there immediately. We could have been able to either flywheel their fear stacks and then pump on away to allow a Gravekeeper to actually get into a shuttle form to contain for an even longer time. But with that terror shock there on mine, that was a huge game changer. Because if it wasn't there, we've only have around 1.5 Cypher machines remaining from the survivor side with a Priestess coming into rescue right here. There's so many tombstones nearby, but Priestess does have 54 stacks. We're going to go in for the rescue here once again. We didn't get any. We hit the Priestess, but it's still a double down situation.
Gonna try to go through the portal to get onto the magician. Magician trying to go far away. So right away, caught up to the magician and able to scare the Gravekeeper away from the burrow state. So you're gonna be able to get the first point of this game on the Gravekeeper, and all 3 survivors are now stuck inside the graveyard.
This is like a prison situation here from the survivor side. We need to heal, but we always also need to make sure that we have items to contain against a max presence IV2. IV 12 seconds left until transference, a corruption of transference, and we're just looking slowly behind Priestess right here. There's only 1 portal left on her hands, but not in that much of a great area to utilize the portals too.
Maybe wait for it to cool out, then okay, go for the teleport, and Priestess is already at 100% corruption, easily brought down by Sojourn, and now we'll be able to camp the Cypher at the corner house. This is looking a lot like a 4K for Sojourn. A great comeback for the IV choice.
Definitely. I mean, from the IV side here as well, right? Since this 1 full Cypher machine remaining, that means that Ivy can utilize her ET and her shadow form and to lock 1 of the Cypher machines and use her main body to lock another. So, like, she can spend as much time as she wants the moment 1 survivor goes down. But now with 3 survivors, like, we're going to teleport over immediately. That's going to be a before half rescue magician, I think. And Cypher machine primed here by the cheerleader.
Yeah, okay. Leech onto the magician, try to cam this Cypher at the corner house to prevent it from being primed. They're still short of 1 Cypher. They're still short of that endgame Cypher. Even if they're gonna be able to pop that corner house Cypher, and both of the survivor, Yuki and Cheerleader, are all at half health, so both are easy target for Sojourn to chase up against. Magician is now being chased away from the corner house. Sojourn gonna try to go for a run. The cheerleader.
Yeah, it seems like we want to do a little bit of a damage control as well on the survivor side. We want all survivors at half health because we just don't want them to decode at all. But with Magician right here, so no items remaining on his hands, there is 83 stacks of fear, but he's gonna get blinked on and most likely another relevation for another ink sent out. Let's see how Izana actually counters this fear stack.
You gotta try to rotate the camera to prevent the fear from happening. The scream will take in. No? There we go.
Oh, we did. We did.
Will be the down on to the magician. Magician, I believe, already sit on the chair once and will be the 2nd time on the chair. Yuki and Cheerleader is now healing each other up. Try to go for another rescue, or at least try to go for an endgame situation. They're gonna push for that last Cypher. Especially they are still short of 1 Cypher with a max present IV. And a situation like this is looking pretty tough for the survivor to come back.
Yeah, we are currently decoding that last Cypher machine there currently at S-Palette. But of course, with the Long Portal there on mind, even if Ivy decides to teleport, Priestess can immediately just take the Long Portal just to counter that transference of corruption too. We're going to be able to leech on towards Magician here immediately. Priestess isn't here anymore. Well, Priestess not being there, that's going to be another teleportation back right after getting rid of that Long Portal.
Body block, and coming in just a bit too late. The cheerleader already used up 2 of that stack, so I think that's the best that one could do. But I believe not going for the rescue would have been a better choice for the survivor.
It's a bit unfortunate we didn't get the flywheel there on the fear stack, so because if we did, we definitely could have contained for a little bit longer. But Cheerleader here, without a self-heal remaining, it's only Priestess left on the field who can run. Priestess the only one left with self-heal. Cheerleader on the other hand, against an instant attention Ivy, not even a Priestess can heal you up.
Yeah, and this is going to be a 4-man elimination. And also teleport canceling that portal. The 82nd, 90, 94. Another scare, another sneeze. Hosoyori will be able to brought Yuki down. Not even wait for the corruption stack to go up to 100. Yuki is being mind game away from that pallet area. And Soyorin captured Priestess on time. He probably didn't know that Run already lost her self-heal. But still gonna bring Run on the chair. The Yithian is going to be brought out in order to cam the cheerleader.
Cheerleader might actually be able to struggle free to pick her up next, but like with Priestess here as well, Priestess fast heal rate is insane. But it's just whether or not we want the heal here. I mean, like Survivor side know that they don't have a self heal on Cheerleader, but it seems like Priestess also doesn't get up here, so it's gonna be a chair here immediately on towards Priestess, and that's gonna be a surrender from the Survivor side. A 4-man elimination. A 4-man elimination for Soyorin's IV. FT here with a 5-point lead for Game 2 first half.
A much needed comeback. A much needed comeback for future Soyorin. That is quite a strong statement from that from the previous game, which only able to bring down one survivor on the chair. This is a statement. If you're not banning my IV, I'm gonna punish you right away. So yeah, that's a thing that I like to see. I like to see the hunter able to come back from a top spot in the previous game. And with that, we're going to see 2 remaining Cypher, 2 Pallet Destroy, 15 Strike, 1 Terror Shock, and 8 Knockdown for Soyorin the Shadow, and was able to bring out 5 points for future.
It's going to be Cheerleader here with 157 decoding progress, 75-second containment. Magician with 52% decoding progress, 1 rescue, and of course 92-second containment. Alongside with GK here, 49% decoding progress, 1 rescue, and then kiting the Hunter for 39 seconds. And then Priestess here with the most decoding progress of 178%, 1 rescue, 3 heals, and of course 49 seconds containment. So overall for Priestess here, the long portal support definitely did come in really well to counter the IV damage control mid to late game. Yes, the moment IV teleported during that last few moments, cancelling the Priestess's portal right there, we do see how in fact IV would be quite a menace against Priestess.
And the situation that totally turned the match upside down is when that Terror Shock onto the Cheerleader happened. That just confirmed that IV is now in control of the map. Unlucky that Cheerleader wasn't able to use a flywheel in order to prevent the stack to getting to 100. Instead, prematurely going in for a rescue, and yeah, Ivy was able to caught onto that very moment and got a Terror Shock onto the Cheerleader.
And moving on towards the points here we go, we are going to be able to see FT here with a 5-point lead for first half. We still do have second half still though, and it's going to be up to IVE's Hunter here to return that 4-man elimination. We're going to have to see whether FT here wants to ban the Opera or the Ivy for game 2, but it's most likely going to be the Opera singer, since they also did do really well against Hetian's Opera, Hetian's Ivy from game 1.
Yeah. Let's see. This map is viable for every hunter, so there's a lot of choice that they have to consider when it comes to banning. Hetian, again, know to play a lot of hunters, so there's no way that they can counter every one of them. It's just that they're gonna, based on their experience, when it comes to playing in this map. This map is still a balanced map, so anything could go both ways. So let's see. Ever Sleeping Town might ban onto the Opera. As you said, Opera is considered to be more viable than Ivy.
Yeah, definitely. But like alongside with that, we do know that the Hunter also does have a clown too. He brought it out in Chinatown yesterday. Maybe he brought it out in Ever Sleeping Town here as well. Especially with the fact that the main counters of both Opera and Ivy are Windows Speed Boost. I would argue that Ivy, yes, you can counter it with Flywheel as well, but not a lot of players actually do decide to bring out Flywheel just to counter the Ivy. So maybe a clown pick here against a full knee-jerk reflex Survivor team will not be bad for our IVE's Hunters too.
And yeah, we did see in the previous game they did bring a lot of flywheel. From my understanding, they might actually try to counter Dream Wish. That's why they bring in the flywheel, or else they would have to bring, you know, a broken window, knee-jerk reflex. That would be a way better to go up against an Ivy. You have to create the distance between yourself and the shadow. So a bit of an unlucky situation there. Again, yeah, we're gonna see how the Hunter of IVE gonna take back the situation in this matchup. Again, a 5-0 lead. That's going to be a Mountains clan.
But even with that in mind, the survivors could just run a very guaranteed very guaranteed tie game. You could have just your, you know, standard lawyer in graveyard to contain for as long as possible, just to allow all other survivors outside to decode as well. I'd say as long as you can also get, you know, any of the survivors out that does not have any decoding debuff, your early game, even if you don't contain as well, you can still sell to a certain extent. But I guess against Ivy, that might be just a little bit different because we definitely do have the rescue against an Ivy. Alongside with that though, we do need to make sure that we counter all of you know, the other characters that Hetian also plays. Not only is there an Ivy, not only is there a clown, there could be also some other pocket picks that he just hasn't chosen out just yet.
Since the Sire of Future are now having a lead, they could totally went all out and just go within any bomber to try to get at least one mana escape. That's still a viable option for them. Again, they could play decisively, trying to create as much of a lead as possible. Since in the previous game we do see 7-2 from 4AW, and they did have a lead onto the end game at the round number 3, and that was able to pocket them the win in that matchup. So yeah, a Future might wanna try to go for as much point deficit as possible.
Yeah, definitely. We are just gonna have to see here too as well, because like the pressure might be on the Hunter side right now for IVE, but I guess more or less our main requirement here really is just to get a tie. We forget about winning just for now, but if you can at least guarantee the tie, that means, you know, as you said as well, as long as we don't pull the points too far away, we can still try go for a game 3. But of course, when you see the chance of a 3-man 4 elimination, you definitely should go for it. But you know, right now, what you should focus on is your mentality. You don't want survivors to break down your mentality as the Hunter, because the moment you start panicking there, the game is over for you.
Yeah, that's something to consider about. Considering the meta as a current, I think the survivor are not having that much of an edge in terms of countering the Hunter with the current meta, with the Opera Singer, with the Shadow, with Bane on top. Unexpectedly, Bane just came right into the meta during Koa 7, and he just stayed there.
Yeah, definitely. We are really gonna have to see though. Like, I mean, with the ban picks as well for Ever Sleeping Town, there's just way too many options. You can either run Mech Prisoner if you really want to do so. You like double decoders are one of those you know, team comps that some teams do play a lot. Even if you do get that fast down, as long as you can get that normal rescue, your Cypher Machine probably will still be enough. We have seen the female dancer game as well for game 1. That female dancer with fast music box, no one actually expected it to work so well against an Ivy. You know, we do know a slow music box counter Ivy really hard, but fast music box with that fast decoding progress to rush the ciphers to allow us ourselves to see an endgame without the anti-current actually being eliminated, that was really something, really something that the IVE's Hunter team didn't really expect there too, because like the Cypher Machines definitely were fast, but also the rebound kite, you definitely cannot deny it. But even with those rebound kites in mind, it still felt like, you know, okay, maybe there might be some, you know, things that we really have to consider before getting that Ivy out, because we have seen now, okay, who counters Ivy? You have the female dancer who counters Ivy. You have the embalmer who counters Ivy. You can also just, you know, basically pan your camera around as much as possible just to counter the Ivy from, you know, the ETN's relevation scream stacks.
Something to consider also, considering that the survivor that can counter Ivy, Future actually lost one of them. The Magician is now being global banned for them. So there's one less character to worry about. IVE Hunter, yeah, one less character to be worried about. Antiquarian is also lost for them. So one less harasser for IVE Hunter to consider. And again, Antiquarian is gone. So Joker look a little bit viable in this second round.
With the ban picks here, we're gonna go with the normal Seer and Priestess ban. It seems like we want to see who the survivors from FT decides to ban first. We're gonna ban the Opera Singer. So with that in mind, I guess we're just gonna go all out into He Tian's pocket pick. Whether we want the IU to be playing here or not, it's gonna be a really good question here on mind.
And they are ready to go up against that. Actually, also counter He Tian ability to play Clown with that Entomologist pick. Prospector and the ban from He Tian after the 2 pick will be Cheerleader.
Cheerleader movement speed was on item refresh, especially for the Entomologist. It definitely does help out quite a lot. Because from the Survivor side, since the Hunter hasn't banned a Rescuer just yet, we can definitely just decide to choose out which type of container we want. We could potentially go with the support of Female Dancer here once again to counter the Ivy, or we could go with the triple hit character, Psychologist.
A 3-hit tanker can heal remotely. And also, I think a counter to Ivy if the Hunter player stray too far away from the Survivor that is being chased, because you can always sneak in a remote heal. And that final ban onto the Field Officer, yeah, that's kind of thing that
leaning towards Ivy, yeah.
Leaning toward, kind of leaning toward. Not perfectly sure, but there you gotta pick the Mercenary to reply to that ban onto the Field Officer.
Yeah, but I mean, like, we have seen pro players wanting to use our Prospector to counter Ivy too, but I guess with the Entomologist pick here, it definitely is going to be a huge deny. But at least we still do know that everyone is going to be running Windows speed boost here. Maybe Prospector will Flywheel, so there could be a chance maybe if we want, we can get either the wheel out, or you can go with, I'm quite sure He Tian's pocket pick is actually supposed to be Hermit as well, if I do remember Sneaky talking about it.
Yeah, Hermit. And so that's why the Psychologist is also there, a perfect counter, a perfect time to go up against He Tian Hermit. The wheel, Poland. It's been quite a long time since we last seen a Poland player in Southeast Asia competitive scene.
Yeah, but even with that on mind, it really just depends on the persona traits. If we did bring the right persona traits, everything should be fine. But if we did decide to bring out something just tiny bit off the charts, like maybe if you did to get a wax artist out, okay, never mind, it's gonna be a wheel out. Okay. Wheel out against this team. The only issue is gonna be the Psychologist entity. Only issue is gonna be the Psychologist. Everyone else, let's just see how their open area containment goes.
Yeah, perfect counter to Psychologist. 2 spy, 1 trap, she's down. So He Tian might try to go for that character right off the bat. Koi, Mini Blue, and Josh gonna be consecutively Entomologist, Mercenary, and Prospector. These characters doesn't necessarily have the ability to counter the Breaking Wheel.
Yeah.
And also, let's see if they also bring Flywheel, if they are anticipating a Breaking Wheel in this matchup.
I'd say they maybe not, since they did get the Prospector and the Entomologist out alongside with Psycho just to counter that Clown too. But moving on towards the area selection mode we go, it's going to be Entomologist here spawning towards the entrance of Graveyard, and of course Psychologist at Balcony. Meanwhile, Mini Blue is going to be spawning towards School Gate. That's going to be the Prospector near close towards middle.
To keep in mind, in order to kite out a pollen, you will have to be near a high wall with 1 window area in order to force Breaking Wheel out the wheel form. So RD actually in the perfect location to run straight towards the graveyard area, which have that long wall and 1 window area. Koi is also in a relatively strong area at the Geisha Dance, where there is a window and also a corner wall.
Yeah, but of course we do see Prospector in mid as well. Maybe Prospector can rotate towards the balcony area where towards the balcony area also just to gain a little bit of assist with the drop down levels. But of course this is going to be FT versus IVE, and it's going to be day 3 round 3 match to second half. We're going to be able to see He Tian here playing the breaking wheel against psychologist, entomologist, mercenary, and the prospector.
There we go, coming straight into the wheel form and going for the prospector. Really? Oh no. Gonna come back to Artie, who is already at the perfect location to carry out the breaking wheel. Hershin had to go for another target, which is going to be the entomologist. The beast does nothing to the wheel on the wheel form. And the perfect trap, able to get a hit right away. Insolent is already popped, so that's the first skill for He Tian.
That might be just a bit too early of a spike and an immediate hit, though.
Yeah,
we do force our psychologist out of the area as well. Psycho, maybe we can just change forms right here just to get a normal hit, but it seems like for Psycho right now, she wants to get on towards the tram, and the blink is ready. We do get the trap. No, we didn't get the trap. Thankfully, psychologist still available to run. But with 10 seconds left until blink is ready, we are not going to be able to get this second trap, and of course, entomologist. That's a lot of support, but even with all this support in mind, it's just going to be 3 seconds before the psychologist gets blinked down.
Yeah, blink is available, dropping down the pallet, activating that knee-jerk reflect in order to create some distances. Artie probably know that He Tian got to bring in that blink, and it's going to be like a perfect shot coming from the side of He Tian, able to brought down Artie, and there's still some stress onto Artie. That's why people like to pick Pollen against a psychologist. It prevents the stress from counting up. And and also the insolent. Spotting out the entomologist with that wanted order. Wanna go?
Yeah, we'll just leave. Just leave. Yeah, go after entomologist right now. Why are you still decoding? Because even if Psycho gets rescued here, doesn't matter. Ento is another immediate down too, and we're stopping their decoding progresses as well. We do have max presence here. We're a little bit worried that Ento might actually have, flywheel, but with that in mind, barely being able to dodge that one. He Tian here did get the spike. We're just gonna close in the distance, and then we can actually get the snap down.
And there's the Tano snap. There we go. Actually was trying to bait out the flywheel effect, but He Tian didn't know that Koi did not bring in any flywheel effect. A magnet coming from the side of Prospector. Nice cover, and Koi was able to bounce back from that support from Prospector.
But even with that in mind, we did realize that entomologist actually doesn't have flywheel. So with that in mind, we're going to be able to get a spike and an immediate pessimistic spike coming out here as well. We do have snapping 2 seconds, but it seems like a trap was also used just to counter it. But yeah, that's going to be entomologist going down. But it's 2 minutes and 30 seconds in towards the game, and we're ciphers are almost 4 cipher machine done.
I think that's all that the prospector can do. Bought a lot of time for the survivor as entomologist. It's only the first share of her. Wanna try to harass another cipher decoding progress. But yeah, Mini Blue trying to buy some time. Just tapping the chair. Wanna try to buy as much time as possible in this rescuing time.
Yeah, spikes here do hurt quite a lot, but Tram coming in with a little bit of an entomologist support right here. We can't get a snap down because we've only 1 spike. And with that in mind, 4 seconds on towards our next spike, we got the pallet stun. And for Endo here, she's gonna force herself to actually take that spike.
Gotta come back. Actually, gotta come back to Artie. Gotta try to contain the cipher decoding progress here, since there's only 1 cipher left. Artie just running around the hole in the 2-story balcony. Artie.
A little bit hard. Just a little bit hard to get a spike. We got one.
Just drop down, and He Tian decided to actually go down via the stair, and Artie actually got caught in his track. Gotta try to get another spike here. Max present, but drop down coming from Artie. Wasn't able to get the drop down hit. The trap here isn't able to bring down psychologist, since there's still 1 chip hit left away from being down.
But we're changing towards wheel form here. We want to go stop the Cypher Machine from being popped, but it doesn't matter right here. Cypher Machine currently primed. The moment you change forms, you're going to hop over here immediately as well. Even if you want to change target, it doesn't matter. Entomologist is currently on her beast. Prospector nearby as well, trying to buy as much time as possible. There may be 2 survivors nearby, but that doesn't matter unless you blink out here immediately. Then the flywheel didn't get the trap, didn't cancel the trap, but right now it's more than enough for the stun.
Oh no, the dungeon is right at the middle. He has to blink. He has to blink. Or else just went. Oh, actually no.
Oh well.
oh well.
I mean, well, flywheel was actually we forgot flywheel was used already. We forgot flywheel was used to counter the trap. Yeah, because we were worried about the flywheel there too.
Actually, the survivor side they tried to body block the Prospector at that end game situation there, and yeah, that will be a 3-1 again with the 8-1 7-point deficit. That is a 7-point gap.
FT.
Yeah.
Towards FT. Yeah, that wheel pick wasn't bad. We got first hit on Entomologist really fast. We also got Psychologist down really fast. It's just Prospector harassed right after we saw the wanted order on Ento that kind of bought so much time for the Cypher Machines to be done.
And yeah, it does show that, bringing wheel is totally unexpected for the survivor team, as Entomologist did not have flywheel effect. He was able to bring down the Entomologist quite quickly. But yeah, the ability to harass from just Prospector means that Herchian did not have an easy time chasing that Entomologist. 101 seconds coming from the Entomologist, 83 seconds from Psychologist, 66 from Prospector, and 38 from the Mercenary, with a relatively equally spread decoding progress for each of the survivor.
Yeah, I mean, from the survivor side, after they get rescued, they got immediately healed, and we went back to decoding immediately. It's really thanks because it's a Prospector harassed mid-game there for the Entomologist that bought us so much time. Because, the tie turner was gone from Mercenary side, and with the wanted order on Entomologist, there was not that much of a high chance for Ento to contain at all. But because of that Prospector, we've just bought way too much time. We bought enough time for, tie turner to be over, and then all the survivors are already out of Cypher Machine. And of course, with the aiding strikes here coming from He he didn't do bad. His early game spikes were great. His early game traps were great. But it's just that one Prospector that bought way too much time.
Yeah, and that just shows how strong Prospector actually is. Even if the Antiquarian is gone from their artillery. Prospector is a pretty underrated character from what I have seen in recent time. Actually, in previous time, only until recent time did people actually realize the power of Prospector and brought him into tournament more, and that kind of equates to Prospector being nerfed quite a few times in the previous year. And we still see that the Prospector is still a very strong character when it comes to harassing in that area.
Definitely. Like with the Prospector there too. I mean, it might not seem like it's a lot. It might seem like, okay, he only threw 2 magnets about that, but that 2 magnet bought at least 20-30 seconds of the hunter's time. And alongside with that, you also have to include the total amount of time that Entomologist contained right after the Prospector's harassed there too. We did have 3 full survivors at max health, right? By the time the Entomologist went down, because sadly, Psycho just still had max stress.
Pollen, the Breaking Wheel, is able to bring down the Psychologist quite easily with 2 spikes. But after the rescue, I don't think there's any chance for Breaking Wheel to go for the Psychologist again, since she is at a very strong area to try out the Breaking Wheel.
Definitely. And this is going to be the end of round 2. We'll be back towards round 3 very, very, very soon as well. So make sure to stay tuned, and we will be right back.
Our team in this IVA. We will be very excited to face FT since they are having great performance in COA.
มาเซตอย่างไรถึงจะเข้ามาอยู่ในรอบ8ทีมสุดท้ายได้ผมคิดว่าคงเป็นเรื่องปกติทั่วๆไปแหละมั้งครับเล่นแรงค์ซ้อมทีมฝึกซ้อมแผนการเล่นการคิดแล้วก็พัฒนาการเล่นอยู่เสมอๆครับเปิดรับสิ่งใหม่ๆไม่ว่าจะเป็นดูแข่งดูคนที่เก่งกว่าเราหรือดูคนที่เราชื่นชอบก็ได้ครับจะได้เอามาปรับใช้ให้เข้ากับตัวเอง
我们战队是才从中国深渊区回来 所以我们和其他战队相比，我们可能会比较有一些赛事的经验的优势吧。
ก็ขอแค่ทำเต็มที่ที่สุดค่ะแล้วสักวันหนึ่งจะเป็นวันของเราค่ะ
Not really. Everyone is very strong, so we just hope to play as many matches as possible.
Also, the new TH, IVE, and EMP are also the strong team that need to be cautious in this IVA.
ผมคิดว่าทุกทีมเลยครับ ประมาทไม่ได้ครับ
其实我们非常期待能和 GS 战队有一场友好的交流赛，希望我们可以互相学习，一起为深渊8继续努力。
เรารู้สึกว่าทุกทีมมีเอกลักษณ์เป็นของตัวเองค่ะแล้วก็มีจุดแข็งที่ไม่เหมือนกันเราเชื่อว่าไม่ว่าเราจะเจอทีมไหนค่ะขอแค่เราทำเต็มที่แล้วก็ไม่ประมาททีมตรงข้ามค่ะ
We hope everyone will support us. Yeah. Thanks.
Our team for AW will try our best during IVA. Hope you guys enjoy the match.
Cảm ơn tất cả các bạn đã luôn đồng hành và yêu quý team tụi mình. Và chúng mình sẽ cố gắng viết tiếp câu chuyện này. Dù kết quả có ra sao, thì mình nghĩ sự ủng hộ của các bạn chính là phần thưởng đáng quý nhất mà tụi mình nhận được. Cảm ơn tất cả các bạn.
สุดท้ายนี้ฝากถึงพี่ๆแฟนคลับที่ยังคอยติดตามอยู่ ฝากเชียร์ให้กำลังใจพวกเราด้วยนะครับขอบคุณมากครับบ๊ายบายครับ
最后想对各位支持我们 FT 战队的粉丝说，谢谢你们，请多多留意我们的比赛，我们会努力打出精彩又好看的比赛的。
I'm certain she sensed death when her soul left the body. Chaos begets chaotic life, yet the attempt to unravel it becomes a ludicrous theater of absurdity. I must find somewhere far away from the world and the sun. Once the soul and mind can be calculated with accuracy, they can be separated from the body and roam the world. I grabbed onto this last straw amid those ramblings of madness. Like an alien creature possessing my body and covering my skin. In the mirror and under the shadows. My body becomes its vessel.
Looking down the bridge, I see your face, and the steps, all of which are blurry trace. Far below the mirror water, here we are again. Do you start? I still make you in the rain. Our history may not be known, but our story is not being shown. Layer by layer, frame by frame, it goes into the dark. Don't let the storm cross over shadow you. Don't let the thunder overtake you and after you. Set chairs ahead of you. For there was sorrow, there was also hope.
Welcome back everyone for more IVA Summer 2024 action, and we are in the match between IVE and Future. We just witnessed a match where Poland was introduced into the tournament, but to not such a great result, and Future was able to take advantage of that and able to create an 8-1 point distance, a 7-point deficit between them and IVE.
But even with that on mind, though, the Palu's early game was definitely very nicely done. By the time that we got a survivor onto our shirt, there was only 2 cipher machines at 50% and another one on 30%. But because of, future survivors, Prospector being able to harass very well after the target change towards the entomologist, having the wanted order, we did manage to cipher rush really well. And the entomologist also did manage to rebound Kai pretty well right after the balloon rescues, too.
Yeah, I would say that after the wanted orders spotted the entomologist quite a long time, preventing the spike onto herself, and also that harassment coming from the prospector bought a lot of time for the survivor side of future, and that helped a lot with the flow of the game. IVE Hunter Hertian absolutely fell when it comes to catching the entomologist on time, since the prospector ability to harass is so strong.
Definitely. But moving on towards round 3, it's an 8-1 for FT right now, which means if the survivor or the hunter gets a tie game here, it would already be a guarantee win here for FT. So there's so much pressure right now on IVE. We either need a 3-man escape from the survivor side or an immediate 4-man elimination from the hunter side, just so we can move on towards extra rounds. Now, there is also a chance just to win if we get a 4-man escape from the survivor side, but for a round 3, after banning Opera and banning the IV, there is still somewhat of a chance there for that to occur.
And the highest chance for them is to pick a map that is very survivor-sided and try to go for the objective, go for the support, go for a 4-man escape. We have seen in a Japanese tournament, they usually try to go for a 3D coder meta when they want to get all 4 of them out of the gate. 3D coder, 1 harasser, 3D coder, 1 rescuer. It's all viable since they are now pushing the objective, try to rush the cipher as far as possible. And we are now coming into round number 3, which means that we do have 2 ban on the hunter.
But of course, even with that in mind, it would definitely work. After you ban the IV and the opera singer, with 3D coders, it definitely 100% could work, because you don't really have anything else that can stop the survivors from decoding. They managed to distance pull against you, though. That hurts even more. Maybe Hermit could do something, but we are going to be able to see the Sacred Heart Hospital pick.
A very survivor-sided map, as we mentioned. This is going to be quite easy on the survivor side, and a bit of a hassle on the hunter. Again, we are now having a 7-point deficit, which means that if Sojourn, the hunter of future, manage to get a tie or more, we will end the matchup, and it will be a win on the side of future.
We're going to be able to see that Priestess and Seer first two. These 2 pans are going to be very important here, especially for Hospital. Of course, Survivor side is going to be able to follow that up by an Ivy and an opera singer. The only thing we have to keep in mind as well, though, is that, with a confined space detention on Night Watch also can guarantee a tie game in this map. For Anne, maybe not just so much because of the 2-story settings, because of the structures nearby. It's a little bit harder to jump, but for Night Watch, there is still a huge possibility that Sojourn can bring it out, as it was one of his mains.
Sojourn gonna have to consider a lot when it comes to picking the hunter to play against the survivor side of IVE, and they gonna try a lot of strategy. They are considering a lot of strategy in order to at least bring out 3 of them out of the gate. They have to go for an either 8-1 or a 10-0. Which means they cannot afford a tie here for the survivor. They have banned 2 of the meta hunter, and they got to pick very safe character to go up against the Dream Witch.
Seems like we're actually going to be going Psychologist and Barmaid immediately. This also covers Hermit, I guess, and alongside with Dream Witch, as you said as well. It's going to be the Mercenary ban here. So from the survivor side, they're going to be choosing Coordinator. Ouch.
Interesting. Coordinator of safe character to be picking. This map particularly has a lot of high walls, so you have to be very careful when it comes to using that flare gun. A final ban onto the forward. There's no Sojourn wants no harassment, and the survivor are still short of 1 rescuer. They might not go for any rescuer. This map is particularly good for all the kiter and actually they still gonna have a rescuer, which is a first officer.
I mean, for this match, I think as for Soylin, there is a chance of Dream Witch, there's also a chance of Night Watch, but the only issue is two of the survivors from this team comp counters Dream Witch, and another two counters the Night Watch as well. I guess the only thing we really just have to keep in mind is, you know, with this 4 ban, it means that you're going to play a single Headhunter. Potentially, we could see Geisha coming out once again, but Geisha on this map, I guess you could dash through the palace in hospital, near Birdcage, near the Windows Ash ruins. But even with that in mind, wanting a tie here, banning that forward, that means no An. But potentially you could say, okay, we want to make a harass against a spider.
It's going to be one hell of a consideration for the hunter side of future. Oh, yeah. The pick onto the first officer is. Oh, okay. Wait. Actually, so this is a match between the survivor side of future and the hunter of IVE. Okay, so it's the hunter that had to do the lifting up. They had to get a 3-man elimination or a 4-man. In order of 4K to guarantee they're gonna move on to the second half of this round.
Oh, so we're going against He Tian's hunter from IVE.
Yeah.
Then I guess the cycle and the barmaid makes a lot of sense because they want to counter dash, you know, Hermish.
That's reasonable. That's they have double the health in this lineup. They are going all in to counter the Hermit.
Yeah, could be Hermit, you know, could be Dreamwitch, could be Clown as well, could be just overall anyone in a sense. But, you know, even with Dash on mind as well, Survivor team comp wise, we have like, you know, 3 survivors fast decoding progress, and then first officer here, which the pocket watches as well. But of course, He Tian gonna come out as Geisha.
Which you did predict it just a few minutes ago. Yeah, the Geisha ability to dash, catch up to the survivor is quite menacingly scary. And so RD and Koi has to be very careful. Minute Blue might be safe in terms of lineup. Hersian might go for an excitement here. Or might go for an excitement and then just rush straight to just and to down her early.
Definitely, yeah. But like, you know, I'd say if they want to get a fast down, you need to go after coordinator here. But if coordinator spawns in 2-story, it'll be just a bit of a different story here. You'll be able to see a barman here spawning on towards the right-hand side. Mini Blue as the first officer spawning as the main gate. And of course, the psychologist spawning by runes. Hartian is going to be spawning by the dead corner cipher machine there, as well as the Geisha, wanting to force the barman to rotate up towards Shack.
This is a rather tough match for the side of the hunter. Hertian will have to take a lot of lifting up in order to prevent them from knocking out of the upper bracket. With a 7-point lead coming from the side of Future, RD, Toy, Mini Blue, and Josh will be our survivor in this matchup of Future and IVE Hunter Hertian. On third round, first half, between the survivor side of Future and Hunter side of IVE in Sacred Heart Hospital, will be your commentator, Entity, and Kuroshiro.
Okay, moving on towards the game we go. Persona-wise, we need to keep in mind that it's going to be Trump card alongside with Confined Space. We do have the Wanted Order as well alongside with Diction and Berserker, but it seems like for He Tian, we're going to be moving on straight towards Barmaid.
Barmaid is going to be a 3-12 pick on the side of the Geisha, trying to spot it out Barmaid in the shack area. There's still a butterfly. That's actually RD running straight into the Geisha, and this will be an easy hit onto the barmaid. He's actually waiting for the butterfly to cool down. He's actually waiting for the dash to cool down, but yeah, the distance brought by bringing trump card, bringing flywheel effect. Sorry.
Flywheel.
Yeah, is able to create enough distance for RD to kite out into the pallet area and now in the hospital area, which is a notoriously difficult area for any hunter to chase.
Barmaid here being able to heal at around 50%, but it seems like He Tian also did lose the Barmaid here. Barmaid being able to fully heal. We might actually be able to see a second doubling coming out here as well. Meanwhile, the Cypher machines are going up really fast. Barmaid tanking that second hit. We're waiting for Flywheel, but it seems like the second doubling is already ready.
Blink is available for He Tian. Might go for the blink here in order to brought out the Barmaid on time. Did not see the Barmaid here, so he might try to corner her to a distance. The blink did not connect. Artie running out to war, so the blink is now wasted. Artie fighting for such a long time. Now we'll be able to get a hit onto Artie. Did not use flywheel there. Interestingly enough, there is just to cover for Barmaid Kai here, and there's still flywheel on hand.
Yeah, are we gonna get a pallet center? We got the pallet center. Okay, more time spot here for the Barmaid. We're already starting to fort on the fifth Cypher machine from the Survivor side, but with the butterflies here, it's gonna take a relatively long time. But we did win the pallet mine game as Barmaid didn't get behind that pallet on time.
A hit onto the Barmaid, and that means that the chase is now over. Mini Blue hiding in the pallet area at the birdcage, and the two final Cypher are now being pushed very quickly now. 40% after the first rescue. Unluckily that the wanted order spotted out Mini Blue, which will be our rescuer here.
But even with Mini Blue's side here, as long as he pops open that pocket watch immediately, the wanted order will be nullified. And of course, with the pocket watch here on mine, we did get the hit. They're very nice prediction from He Tian, but this will not change the outcome unless we can get to a double down situation. Do we? We did not hit anyone.
Yeah, unlucky. There will be a hit onto the Barmaid in order to confirm the down onto her. Mini Blue is still around in the vicinity, and there's still pocket watch for him to alive. I think if the survivor are trying to push for endgame, third officer gonna try to go in for the rescue once again. There's still pocket watch for the third officer, and psychologist try to heal the third officer there, but he decided to cancel. Now again, third officer will
get wanted order
again. It's just hitting the lottery here.
But even with the lotteries here in mind, it seems like we're going to allow Coordinator to go straight towards the birdcage gate. Coordinator seems like she wants to come into rescue as well if we look from our screen side, but it will be given towards the first officer here. I guess it's really just picking up the butterfly and just cancel the dashes as much as you can.
Yeah, Josh is going in for the rescue. It's going to be a very safe one, and there's still Coordinator gun to be worried about He Tian. There is no time to lose as the survivor has already primed the Cypher, just waiting for the signal to pop the Cypher, and this will be the pop onto the survivor side of Future. This is looking very dire for He Tian. He needs a 3-man elimination right away. And yeah, there's still the Coordinator gun to worry about.
We also do see that Psycho is currently trying to heal someone, but it also did cancel as well, most likely trying to heal the Barmaid. We don't have detention here for endgame though. That's kind of just an unfortunate thing, but Barmaid being able to get in straight towards 2-story kind of guarantees our 4-man endgame here as well. But it seems like we're going to be able to see the survivors here body blocking for the Barmaid just to get out of the gate, and it seems like they're going to be able to barely make it out as well.
Yeah,
and that's going to be a 4-man escape here for FT, if you all look on the bottom left hand side of your screen.
Yeah, and that will be it. The survivor side of Future managed to get a 4-man escape, meaning that Future will be the one moving up in the upper bracket, facing up against the previous winner, which is let me check my note, which is 4AW. They will be moving on in the upper bracket in the semi-final, and yeah, they will fight it out to get a spot into the final stage.
Definitely. The game from He Tian with the geisha, definitely not a bad choice, but it's only the only issue there was the map. You do have a 2-story area for barmaid to be able to rotate into it safely as well. And it's, as NTT said as well, right? You brought flywheel, that means you have Weber's Law. Even if Geisha does dash to you, you still gain that 15 to 20% movement speed buff. And when Geisha's in Piranha form, she just moves a bit slowly compared to usual. So with that 15% movement speed boost, like being able to barely dodge Geisha's attack box there as well. So for Barmaid being able to rotate immediately to hospital before getting a hit and then drinking Dublin, that was kind of the divine saving grace there of, you know, flywheel being brought out by Barmaid's side.
And not to mention that Geisha actually bring trump card and also confined space, so there'll be no detention for the survivor to worry about. As you see at that endgame situation, they all went for the belly block. They all went for that protection onto the survivor that's being in the half health situation. And yeah, they just move straight out of the gate, and that will be our winner of the third matchup of the day, Future. Moving on.
Straight towards semis as well. But even with that in mind, though, that doesn't mean IVE has been eliminated just yet. IVE will be moving on straight towards the lower brackets too. We'll be able to see who they face off against next Friday too. So do stay in tune for that also. But I mean, like from the survivor side as well, when the endgame Cypher Machine popped, realizing that our Geisha actually did not have detention, allowed all 4 survivors to be nearby. You also did have a coordinator with a gun there that has not been utilized as well, which made it even more easier for FT survivor to get that 4-man escape near Birdcage Gauge.
Yeah, exactly. Not having detention, I think when the Cypher popped, that is when the Hunter know that the game is not going in their favor. RD with the Barmaid will be our MVP in this match. Absolutely incredible kiting, and yeah, we did see in that early kite of RD in the hospital area, she was able to divert the attention of the Geisha, misdirect her, and she kind of found RD right away. But that's when RD already make her second healing potion.
Yeah. And then, like, right after the hit as well from the Geisha's butterfly, the Geisha's dash, and then we were waiting for flywheel as well. But, like, in that case scenario, there was no way that the barmaid would use flywheel when she already had another doubling. The very unfortunate part really was the blink miss near ruins when the Geisha tried to, you know, tried to predict where the barmaid was moving right after the doubling speed boost. But sadly, that didn't really go into plan.
That's quite a predicament that Geisha has to go for. That blink miss is detrimental for the flow of the game, and yeah, not bringing any detention, the end game just keep getting harder and harder. She has no way of preventing the gate from being open. There is still the gun onto the coordinator. There's still pocket watch from the third officer. So in any shape or form, the survivor are in such an incredible at end game there that Geisha has no breathing room.
Yeah, we did see the double wanted order on first officer, but sadly that was immediately countered by the pocket watcher first officer. We can also move on straight towards the stats. Here we go. We're going to be able to see He Ting here as Geisha with 9 hits alongside with 4 knockdowns. But even with that 4 knockdown in mind, it's going to be Barmaid here 133 second containment, 2 heals, 1 pallet stun, and of course first officer 100% Cypher Machine, 1 rescue, 52 second containment, psychologist and the coordinator both on 200% Cypher decoding progress.
Yeah, they push the objective very effectively. All of the survivor all have their contribution in the game, with the barmaid buying time for the survivor to decode, and third officer having that first rescue safely, even though he was caught quite far away from the chair. Geisha wasn't able to stop third officer on his track to rescue barmaid from the chair. And yeah, psychologist, coordinator all have their fair share of helping barmaid getting out of the gate, with psychologist healing third officer with that remote ability of healing, and coordinator gun still available.
Yeah. There's just way too many items left on the survivor side for endgame as well. First officer still having one pocket watch left for himself to use, coordinator with a gun, and then of course barmaid with flywheel for herself to use, with 3 other survivors trying to body block for the barmaid just to get out of the gate there too. As long as one of the survivors can't get a butterfly on them, all what it takes is for you to moonwalk back, and there's no way the geisha can use her skills, can use her dash just to, you know, catch up towards the barmaid and to get the barmaid down.
Yeah, and that's why we call this map a very survivor-sided map. It's very tough for any hunter player to chase a character in this map, because when you hit a character, they will just run straight into the hospital, and that's exactly what Artie do. That's exactly what Artie achieved. He was able to prevent the chase from happening once again, and the blink, yeah, just a miss blink that just ended it all for Persian.
Yeah. If that blink registers, maybe we could have still been able to see a tie, but a tie still isn't enough. A tie is still be able to bring it home for FT as well. So like either we get a really good miraculous, you know, chair cam from the geisha with soul departure, or we get some type of immediate terror shock there just to prevent first officer from rescuing too. Yeah, since first officer also can't counter that terror shock compared to a mercenary.
Considering the early game, she was able to spot out the barmaid quite early on. But as you mentioned, bringing flower effect means that barmaid also have Weber's Law, which boosts her speed, and she was able to run to a pallet area safely. After the first hit, she was able to just run straight into the hospital. Unlucky that the first hit wasn't registered for Persian.
Definitely. But if we move on towards the point systems we go, for game 1 it was 4-4, for game 2 it was 8-1 for FT, and of course for game 3 here it's 5-0. We didn't move on to our second half simply because of the fact that even if IVE gets a 4-man escape, the points will still be 12-10, which still leads to a win here for FT. IVE needed an either 3-man elimination or 4-man elimination before we can move on towards the second half. But of course, instead, FT with a really big performance there from the survivor side, 4-man endgame. Unfortunately, we didn't have the detention, but confined space might actually be necessary as well when it comes to the pallet spam in runes, in hospital, and in all other areas that have multiple pallets like statues.
And yeah, congratulations to the winning teams today, Future, for AW, and also GH for moving on in the IVA bracket. As for every other team that doesn't have the perfect game today, thank you all for participating. And yeah, IVE and EMP still has their chances in the lower bracket, so we will see them in tomorrow, I believe. We will see them we will see them next
Friday.
week. Yeah,
yes.
Friday next week. That will be the matchup in the lower bracket between GH. Yeah, there we go. Today's result in GH and 2GT will be 2-0. EMP and 4AW will be 1-2 in favor of 4AW, and also Future and IVE, we just witnessed, will be a 2-0, even though we come to 3 rounds.
We did have one lower bracket game today, which it is the GH versus 2GT. GTG being eliminated there in the lower bracket round, GH moving on. And of course, the 2 quarterfinals, if you want to call it that way, is going to be for AW moving on towards semifinals, EMP moving on towards lower brackets, and of course, FT moving on towards semifinals, and of course, IVE moving on towards the quarterfinals for next week.
Yeah, seeing how strong 4AW and Future is today, the matchup between them in the semifinal will be very exciting. And yeah, we're gonna see the matchup for next week, Sunday. It will be between Rajasori, Rajasori and EMP, and also GH and IVE as the second matchup.
Yes, but it will be on next Friday for this matchup.
And now we're gonna see the current bracket. Unfortunate for Leo and 2GT, they have been eliminated from the elimination from the tournament, but their performance has been outstanding.
Definitely. And with that in mind, though, the winners of the lower brackets of A Writer Story and EMP, will move on towards one more round to see who wins. But of course, between 4AW and FT, whoever loses will be moving on towards the lower brackets of those winners before we move on straight towards the championships.
And with that, 4AW and Future, the match that decided the first candidate for our finalists, and also as you mentioned, the winner of A Writer Story and EMP versus the winner of GH and IVE. In that next matchup between those two teams, they will have to face the loser of the semi-final, which are very strong team for AW and Future.
So even if you do lose the semi-finals for next week, you still do have a chance here as long as you are in the upper brackets. But for the lower bracket teams, we are going to be having to tread very carefully in how we plan our games out towards the next week's future games.
Exactly. And yesterday has been a very exciting day. We saw a lot of interesting pick, especially that Breaking Wheel. The Breaking Wheel is not a character that we see all day in this current meta, and even though the result wasn't as high as we expected, their performance are still no joke.
Definitely. Survivors, they did have a little bit of a rusty early game, but from mid to late game onwards against that Breaking Wheel, it definitely just shows us how fast the veteran teams can adapt towards newer environments immediately. Yeah, we only saw one flywheel there onto as a prospector as well. Meanwhile, everyone else did decide to bring the knee-jerk reflex. But even with those in mind, He has brought out quite a lot of his hidden trump cards. We saw the Geisha coming out today, we saw the Breaking Wheel coming out today, but that only will mean that the future teams that go against him will be able to fully prepare against these 4 picks. He did have an Opera, he did have a Clown, but today we also see that that Geisha and the Wheel coming out.
So that's just show how viable Herchian is coming into this meta. There's a lot of hunter in his artillery, so the matchup in the lower bracket, their opponent will have to study a lot. And for the matchup between Future and 4AW, the powerhouse in the upper bracket, they're gonna face up each other, and the winner. It is going to be very exciting to find out who is going to be the winner between these two teams.
Yes, definitely. But of course, these events will happen next week. This is going to be the end of our day 3 for IVA. Hopefully everyone here enjoyed as well. And please stay tuned because we will be back next Friday immediately as well.
Yeah, next Friday we'll be back with more IVA action 2024 summer. Today we have 3 exciting matchups. We hope to see you all for next week full of explosion, full of unpredictable matchup. And thank everyone for joining the stream. We do see Itaqua Plush Diamond in the chat, Justagirl, mainly Invincible John is also in the chat, and also a player in the previous match, Artie, is also in the chat with us. So and Vanilla Kaida. Hello, Vanilla Kaida. Hello, Horton Hines. Thanks everyone for joining the stream, cheering for their favorite team. Hopefully everyone has their time. In the tournament. And see you guys next stream. We're going to sign off here.
See you guys next week.
See you guys next week for more IVA 2024 Summer Edition action. See you all.